We have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And a good evening, hockey fans, here as we're back here for another Battalion hockey game on the front line. Tonight, it's the Owen Sound Attack make the only appearance in the town to take on the North Bay Battalion. I'm your host, Derek Lindemann, and you are watching Battalion hockey on the front line. Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by...
The pregame show is brought to you by La Herda Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit LaHerdaImports.com for more details.
The North Bay Battalion look to make it 4 straight victories tonight as they play host to one of their Western Conference foes, the Owen Sound Attack. The Attack coming in losers of their last 2 games, and they're looking to get heated up again as they still have an outside shot for an upper seed to get home ice advantage in the playoffs. I'd like to welcome back Lyndon Holtkamp, who's been away, getting back in the town to get back on the broadcast. Welcome back, Lyndon. Exciting night here. The only time we're going to see Owen Sound this year here in North Bay.
Yeah, always the trick with these Western Conference opponents is that you only see them once or twice a year. Once in your own building, once in theirs. So these teams have played once this season. North Bay taking that decision back in November by a score of 6-3. So we'll see how they shape up tonight.
Yeah, in that game, it was Charlie Robertson picking up the victory for the North Bay Battalion. He will not be in the net tonight. It will be DiVincentis getting the start for the Battalion. We'll have more on that momentarily. And Dallin Wakely recorded 2 goals, first-star honors in that game. And Wakely, 30 goals on the season. First Battalion to reach that mark. Quite a milestone for the sophomore.
Yeah, it really is. We saw him quite a bit last year, have a decent rookie year, but really come into his own this year. You mentioned hitting that 30-goal mark.
And when you're looking at the Western Conference, the top 3 seeds are basically already solidified in Windsor, London, and Sarnia. And then when you look at from 4th all the way down to 8th, only a couple points separate those 5 teams. Basically, those 5 teams are already in the playoffs. They still mathematically have a chance to be eliminated, but sitting way back is the Sioux Greyhounds with 51 points, 12 points behind the 8th place team. So still a lot at stake for the Owen Sound Attack. They can still get up into that 4th and final home playoff spot, which will be a good setup for a Western Conference team. You want to try and avoid those top 3 teams of the Western Conference.
Yeah, that Western Conference so strong this year. The Owen Sound Attack, you mentioned, basically in the playoffs, but still fighting for that positioning. Unfortunately for them, that consistency been a bit of an issue. You mentioned coming in, losing 2 straight, and seeing, if they can overcome some of that to still get that 4th spot.
Yeah, Owen Sound with the most games remaining of any team. They still have 10 games remaining in this OHL regular season, 3 weeks remaining in this season. North Bay Battalion still with 8 games left, 2 of them against Western Conference foes, and then after that, you've got 6 games against teams that are lower than you in the Eastern Conference, which possibly could be eventual first-round opponents.
Yeah, that's a good thing for the Battalion. Unfortunately, you have a couple of tough Western Conference teams this weekend in Owen Sound and then London. But you have a little bit of an easier stretch for the Battalion to get into that playoffs and really have your team set up and ready to go.
And really, the North Bay Battalion own their own destiny. They don't play back-to-back games until the final weekend of the season, so you can almost run Dom DiVincenzo if you really wanted to run the gamut of the games, trying to clinch that 2nd spot in the Eastern Conference. They're currently only 3 points ahead of the Barrie Colts for top in the Central Division. That 2nd seed is very important, as that's going to guarantee you not only home ice in the first round, but also in the second round.
Yeah, that's the Battalion having to pick up their game a little bit, as Barrie, who loaded up at the deadline, have put on a bit of a push here recently, and the Battalion still need to play good hockey in those last 8 games in order to secure that 2nd spot.
And the Battalion do not play Barrie down the stretch. They do play almost every other team except for the Barrie Colts and Kingston, which are below them, as they will be in Oshawa Friday night to take on the Oshawa Generals, who are also pushing for seeding in the Eastern Conference. Let's turn our attention now to our players to watch that are brought to you tonight by Mike, the financial advisor.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Our players to watch tonight for the Owen Sound attack: Colby Barlow, 75 points on the season, 44 goals leading the Owen Sound attack. And for the North Bay Battalion, Luke Brusowski, one of the defenders that Adam Dennis brought in just before the Christmas break to kind of solidify that defensive position. And he seems to be coming into his own after returning from a couple injuries. But Lyndon, let's start with Owen Sound. Colby Barlow, predicted to go top 10 in the NHL draft this year.
Yeah, Owen Sound's real hotshot prospect here, and he had 30 goals last year as a 16-year-old. He's got 44 on the year this year as a 17-year-old. If he gets to 50, only 5 players since the year 2000 have hit 50 goals as a 17-year-old in the OHL, and just guys like John Tavares, Stephen Stamkos, not really any big names or anything.
No big names have hit that 50 goal mark, and it'll be quite the milestone if Barlow can make that. He is only an 05 birth, so 17 years of age, eligible for the upcoming NHL draft, and like we said, predicted to go top 10. Let's look at the North Bay Battalion. Luke Brusowski, he's only got 4 points, 1 goal, 3 assists. He seems to be coming in his own and really fitting into the defensive scheme here. Ryan Uhlhen has done a great job getting Brusowski back into the lineup.
Yeah, it's tough when you have a guy miss that much time with injuries and things that, it doesn't quite fit into the lines and stuff right away. So good to see him recently playing more games and getting into that lineup as a solid depth guy for this Battalion team.
I found on Sunday, in that victory Sunday, that he really looked to be pushing his game offensively, looked to be getting a lot more involved in the offensive end, not just taking care of his defensive responsibility. He's going to be a key for the Battalion in the playoffs, being one of those 5 and 6 defensemen on this squad. North Bay Battalion not getting any help back in the lineup tonight. Justin Ertel will still be out of the lineup. He has been cleared to resume playing hockey. I talked to him on Monday, and he thought he would be back in the lineup tonight, but Ryan Uhlhen has a little bit different timeline for him, so we'll probably see him this weekend sometime. Absent tonight, Pasquale Zito getting a day off. Josh Bloom will return to the lineup tonight. So basically, a little bit of a couple of, again, juggling act for Uhlhen on the lines. That top line, we're going to see Romani move up on the right wing as he's going to flank Wakely at center and Petrov on the left side, and then Bloom, Jackson, McDonald together. The third line will be Tarasevich, Arnsby, and Van Steensel, and then Procession and Tarian will occupy that fourth line, and they'll just have a rotating third player through them. So a lot of juggling act again by Houlihan with those forward lines.
Yeah, we've seen Houlihan doing a lot of that, playing around with the lines, guys missing, like it happens to a hockey team. But it'll be good for the Battalion, hopefully, to get these guys back for the playoffs. You mentioned Ertl being healthy, which is big because I think he's a really useful player on this team. And to have those guys back for the playoffs, get some lines solid in these games down the stretch, and have some energy and some chemistry going into the playoffs.
And that's one of the things we have not seen since all these acquisitions is the Battalion dress a full, healthy 12 skaters. We've seen juggling players in and out of the lineup, especially in the forward positions. And it will be interesting to see what happens when the Battalion do have all 12 forwards healthy. On the back end, we're going to see the same 7 defenders that we've seen in that victory against the Niagara Ice Dogs. Kennedy will dress again as that 7th D. It's interesting to see how they use all 7 defensemen, as you basically see Christopoulos and Ty Nelson being used as your solid 2. Nelson offensively, Christopoulos defensively, and then the other 5 kind of rotate through those 2.
Yeah, and that's where you see the usefulness of our player to watch, Luke Brostowski. You bring a guy like that in who's got a year of OHL experience and can just be a handy guy on the back end. So when you're down a forward or 2, you can dress that 7th defenseman, mix and match a little bit, and know that your team will still be solid.
Let's turn our attention now to our goaltending matchup for tonight. First off, for the Owen Sound attack, getting his 31st game appearance tonight, Nick Chenard. He comes in with a 13-14, 1-1 extended record, a .377 goals against average, and an .878 save percentage. Those numbers aren't in the upper echelon, but they are solid numbers for a goaltender in the Western Conference.
Yeah, facing a lot of tough opponents in that Western Conference. Owen Sound, a 500 team. Your goalie's record about 500. It all kind of checks out for Owen Sound and Nick Chenard.
And then getting the start, like we said previously, Dom DeVincenzo is back in goal for the North Bay Battalion. He's got a Battalion record, 32 wins, as he looks to continue pushing that number up in the win column with 9 losses, 2 overtime losses, a .245 goals against average, and a .915 save percentage. Those numbers are at the top of the league in the OHL.
Yeah, even just getting that OHL Goaltender of the Week award this week, we've seen it all year. We know the Battalion goaltending is fantastic. Notably, haven't given up a goal since almost a week playing Sudbury last Thursday here at around the 5.5 minute mark of the second period. So the Battalion hoping to keep that up as they head into this game.
Yeah, the Battalion haven't been scored on in 154 minutes as Robertson recorded the shutout against the Niagara Ice Dogs on Sunday, and previous to that, Dom DeVincenzo is picking up his 3rd shutout of the season in his last start against the Mississauga Steelheads. So goaltending not the issue for the North Bay Battalion. They seem to play down to the level of their opponents, like we've talked about quite often. Of the 6 remaining teams that they have to play against, it's only the Sudbury Wolves that they have a really high winning percentage against, 6-1 against the Sudbury Wolves. The other 5 teams basically 500 hockey. So North Bay Battalion have to look like they have wins in their pocket and have to play a strong 60 minutes hockey. We're hoping tonight that they can get off to that start here against the attack.
Yeah, I mentioned it a little bit earlier. The Battalion struggling a little bit against some of those teams, and you still have lots of meaningful hockey to play. Barrie is loaded up and slowly been catching them so far. And if you're Ryan Houlihan and the Battalion, you have to keep up that good hockey, solid hockey you've been playing all year.
And I think the last couple of games we've seen here at home ice, the Battalion have gotten out to those hot starts, have not fallen behind in the first period like we've seen quite often, and haven't had to play catch-up after giving up that first goal. Battalion look to be hungry and look to continue on their hot streak as they look to push for their 2nd consecutive Central Division title and that 2nd spot in the Eastern Conference, as you don't want to meet up against the Ottawa 67s until the finals, and even the Barrie Colts. You want to have home ice in that 2nd round against the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, North Bay's home record has been stellar all year, and we'll see them luckily having 6 home games of their remaining 8 being an advantage for them down the stretch.
Well, we're all set up here at Linden for another hockey game here from the Memorial Gardens. When we return, Matt Sukram will have your play-by-play as it's the Owen Sound attack against the North Bay Battalion here on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And with the festivities over, we are just about ready for puck drop here at Memorial Gardens. Good evening, everyone. I am Matthew Sukram alongside Lyndon Hookamp, and we are set for tonight's action as the North Bay Battalion take on the Owen Sound attack on a rare Wednesday affair, and you got to wonder how that might factor into the teams going into tonight's game, as it's a short week off. And then they've got to come back out and play on Friday and Sunday as well. So kind of a weird week here for the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, indeed. A little Wednesday night midweek matchup between these two teams. A bit of a different one for the Battalion, playing a few games on Wednesdays earlier this year against Sudbury. But we'll see how that affects the teams. It should be a good game tonight with two solid teams.
And for the Owen Sound attack, they have a couple more games on tap for themselves this weekend. I'm looking at the wrong schedule here. That's why I was confused. They take on Kitchener on Friday night in Kitchener, and then they will be back home to host Oshawa on Saturday night. So 3 games in 4 days for them as well. Both teams will be looking to get their weekends off to a good start here as the puck is dropped, and we are underway as the Battalion shoot it down into the Owen Sound zone. It comes right back out to the neutral zone. Owen Sound, it's Sedley coming in, but he goes offside, and there's our first stoppage in play, just 15 seconds into this one.
Yeah, early on here, Derek and I were talking in the pregame about the Battalion getting that first period jump and not letting themselves fall behind early. We've seen them play really well late in these games, but not falling behind early will be a key tonight.
Absolutely. North Bay have a sterling record when they do get the opening goal at 28-0-1 in the 30 games that they've played. Out to the line. Sedley shot comes in. It's bouncing at the side of the net, but turned away quickly by DiVincentis. What an opportunity there on the doorstep for Servac Petrovsky, as he had a wide open cage to shoot at and then couldn't get a handle of the puck. And now Romani in the attacking zone sends it in front, and it's deflected off the stick of Wakely as the Battalion have their first good chance of the game. In the middle of the Owen Sound zone, it's knocked out of the area by Sam Sedley and sent all the way down the ice, so stoppage will be played. A minute in here, no score, but Linden, two good opportunities on either side of the ice there.
Yeah, two real close chances. DiVincentis scrambling in his own net there to keep the Slovak Petrovsky out of the net. And then the Battalion doing what we've seen all year, jumping on that counterattack and really generating a great chance with Romani down on Chernad in the Owen Sound goal.
Yeah, that was something that was really evident of what made North Bay victors over both Niagara and Sudbury in their last two home games here, is that counterattack was hard to contain. And we'll see if they bring out more of the same in tonight's contest. Puck is dropped, and the attack send it down the ice quickly, and that will be icing again as Burrows was going in one-on-one with Winslow, and that's kind of a delayed icing call there as it went all the way to the goal line. Winslow touched it, and then he was actually trying to move it around Burrows before the official blew the whistle.
Yeah, a little bit late there, but a bit of a slow start to this game. You have to think that favors the Battalion. Like you said, having a little bit of trouble early on in some games, so getting a chance to take things easy into this game.
Face-off won by the attack. They get it out of the zone, down the ice. Burrows at the blue line, battling Hislop, but it's Hislop who gets control of the puck and gets it back through the neutral zone, but Christopoulos had it behind the blue line, and he whips it all the way down the ice, and that will be icing called as well. 18:35 to go. No score yet here in the first period, but that's about the fifth icing call that we've had already in tonight's game. This is second of two meetings between these two teams this season. North Bay were 6-3 winners over the attack back on November the 19th in Owen Sound, of course. Face-off won by the attack, but they drop it back to the blue line and nobody there to pick up the loose puck, so they drop it back even further in towards their own netminder. And it is Chenard who plays it to the corner. Now behind the net, the Battalion putting the pressure on. A couple of hard stick checks in the area. The puck comes loose out to the line. Bristowski sends it back into the corner. Whipped around the end boards. McDonald trying to find Jackson on the near side. Jackson does get control of the puck there. Feeds it down to the boards. Winslow walking in there. Can't find the puck, and Gore is able to get it out down the ice, and there's a forward race to it. Driving towards DiVincentis, but then he stays to the outside, and now he sends it in front, and the shot goes wide of the net. Picked up back behind the net by, I believe that's Tersini down there, and he plays it along the end boards, tries to feed it in front, nobody there, and Terrien is able to get the puck out to the neutral zone. Terrien rushing down the middle now, still carrying the puck. He's going one-on-one hard with Petrovsky into the corner, and Petrovsky wins that battle and is able to get it out to the neutral zone. 17:30 to go in the period as the Battalion regain the puck possession. They send it down the ice right towards the goaltender, who turns it away and sends it to the near side corner, but the attack having trouble getting out. Now there's a chance by Petrov in the slot, and that one's turned aside. Another shot comes in, and the rebound comes up to the line. Nelson was there, could not get a handle on the puck, but Petrov helps him out and sends it to the near side boards. Nelson's there, chips it on the end boards. It goes to the far side. Now pass in front to the slot, and it's knocked away and sent all the way down the ice. Action starting to pick up now as the Battalion come right back into the zone. Petrov on the left side dumps it in. Played behind the net by the goaltender Chenard. That line will change for North Bay. That's been their first really good shift of this game. 16:40 to go. As the attack look to bring the puck out of the zone, they dump it down the ice, and it will be chased. Going in is Thomas Chafe. He gets pushed along the end boards. May have got his stick up in the teeth, but no call there as Liam Arnsby gets control of the puck for North Bay, and he sends it up to Van Steensel, who dumps it in. Chased in the far side corner as Seed looks to get it out. It's up to the blue line. Winslow pushing it back forward for North Bay. It goes across to the right side. Tarasevich's shot comes in, and it's wide of the net. Picked up behind the net by the attack, and they clear it down the ice. As the puck was getting cleared, Lucan threw a hit on Chafe, and he's going to get called, and he might get even more as he's dropped the gloves, and he's getting some punches in on the attack player who came in late after the hit. Now the attack player's throwing a couple of huge right hands. Stewart is hammering on Lucan. Lucan's trying to get his arm free, but Stewart is wailing away on the back of Lucan's head. He can't see. He's got the jersey up around his eyes. His helmet is covering him as well. The officials get in the way, and that'll break up that fight between Stewart and Lucan.
What a tilt there. Lucan, Stewart came flying in. He was out about the red line when that puck got cleared, and took exception to Lucan leveling an attack player. And Stewart just coming in and settling that one there, I guess. But both guys will be taking a little break. And what a way to set the tone for this game. With
No kidding.
slow start, chances at both ends, up and down, and now we get a little scrap. So
Completely different from the Niagara game that we saw here on Sunday, which was really kind of slow going. The Battalion came out, scored 3 goals in the first period of that game, and then just kind of set their dial on cruise control to the end of the game and ended up coming out with a 3-0 victory. The Sudbury game, though, on Thursday, it was more reminiscent of this, where it was very chippy out of the gate. There was a fight, but then as the game went on, it kind of got settled in, and there weren't as many roughing penalties called. There were still some penalties, but it was more for stick infractions of the sort. So, the Battalion back to being aggressive. I thought the hit from Lucan looked pretty clean, although, maybe you do call roughing on the play, maybe interference. I'm not sure what the call is. But either way, Lucan is probably going to be getting some extra time for the initial penalty being called on him, and then he goes and drops the gloves as well.
Yeah, I thought the Lucan hit looked okay. It might have been a little late. I'm thinking the officials are looking at. I'm seeing a replay here. That's not the. Oh, it's back there. A little out of frame for our replay here in the building. But
it could be boarding now that I look at it on a second look here. It should definitely be interference. The puck was coming to Chafe, and Lucan walloped him pretty good.
But then, going back to what you were saying earlier, the Battalion's last couple of games, I mean, the story with Niagara all year, the difference between that team and this team is having something to play for, I think. Owen Sound fighting for that playoff seeding in that tough Western Conference, and coming out and just having something to play for and something to answer to early on in this game.
Owen Sound third in the Midwest Division, have not clinched a playoff spot as of yet. They sit with 63 points. Here comes Gore down the ice on the right side, feeds it in front, and it's a save made by DiVincentis. So it looks like there's no penalty that got called. There's 2 guys in the box. And
Stewart got sent to the room, so I think he got a game.
Interesting, because of being the extra guy, the late guy in on the play, right? So we're getting the official word from PA announcer Bob Coles right now on what the call is, and we'll let Ben Long fill us in on our next break. as Sedley wins the puck off the draw, sends it on net, and it's deflected just wide. Again, back to 5-on-5 play. Another shot comes in, and that one is stopped by DiVincentis. Still scoreless, but mostly thanks to DiVincentis on those last couple of plays. Puck still inside the North Bay defensive zone. It's on the near side boards, into the corner and whipped back around behind the net. Huki is there. He's got control of the puck, goes back into the corner, plays it behind the net. Now out in front, Sedley's shot is blocked by DiVincentis. North Bay able to pick up the puck, and it's McDonald leading a charge down the ice. In over the blue line, in front to Bloom, and he deflects it into the pads of the goaltender Chenard. Puck is still in play, though. It's McDonald coming out in front, and his shot goes high. Bloom picks it up on the far side, feeds it to Nelson. Back to McDonald, one-timer, and it is stopped by Chenard as he kicks the net off its moorings. 14:55 to go in the first period. Lots of chances on either side of the ice. Ben Long, we've got the official word on what the first penalties of the game are. Why don't you fill us in?
So it ended up not being exactly what I thought. There was 2 minutes for instigating, 5 for fighting, and then 10 misconduct was for Owen Sound. Lucan got 5 for fighting, a 10-minute misconduct for fighting an instigator, and there was something else in there, but I didn't pick up what the other penalty was.
It's got to be interference.
I would think so, because it was a clear interference call.
And now we might get another one here. Burrows and Hislop collide at the blue line. And somebody on both sides, it looks like, are going to the box. No,
Hislop getting a cross check there, I think.
Yeah,
there's the call.
When he threw up the 2, I thought he meant both players, but it's 2 minutes is what he was putting up. So that's going to be our first power play of the game.
I think what confused us there was Stewart is not sitting in the penalty box. His penalty time being longer than the period.
Yeah.
I guess he went to the room, but Lucan opting to sit in the box.
So Hislop is in the box for the next 2 minutes. It's a power play opportunity. The shot coming in. They bat it out of the air, and it's in the net, but the official waving it off right away. As you could see, that looked more like a lacrosse goal than a legal hockey goal. Now, the officials do have to come over, and I believe they have to review if the call on the ice is a no goal. Waiting to see if that is the case here. So they may be reviewing it. If you're just joining us, it is scoreless. There's been multiple opportunities for either team to score. No, they don't have to review this one because it was called clean on the ice. So 14:33 to play in the first period. North Bay down by a man for the next minute 52. It is scoreless, but the Battalion have the number 1 penalty kill in the league right now.
Yeah, but you mentioned that number 1 penalty kill. The Battalion only allowing goals on 34 of their 254 penalty kills on the season, but also looking at 13 shorthanded goals for. That forecheck and that offensive threat still there on the penalty kill.
And the Owen Sound attack come in on the power play, ranked 14th in the league. And the puck is sent down the ice for the Battalion, and they have some time to catch their breath and see the first 40 seconds of this power play expire with 14 minutes remaining in the first period. Attack come in over the blue line, down the left wing side. They play back to the line. Poke check made, and Van Stiesel was almost sprung free, but at the last second they poked it back away, kept it in over the blue line. Now it's kicked out, and it's the attack trying to regain their formation and get in on side. They do briefly before the puck is picked up by Nelson and sent down the ice. Check that was Tarasevic on that poke check on the far side, and he's got a number of those shorthanded goals. I think he's probably got more shorthanded opportunities than anybody in the league, though. It's a rarity to not see him have a breakaway on a penalty kill nowadays. Play continues as the attack bring it back in from their own zone over the blue line. They lose it on the far side boards. Winslow picks it up, and he whips it right back down the ice.
Just a textbook penalty kill from the Battalion here. Keeping them out of the zone, making that entry difficult, and then clearing the puck down the ice.
7 minutes to go in the period. 17 seconds remaining on the power play. North Bay can't clear it this time after the attack dump it in. It's to the line. The shot coming in wide of the net. Picked up behind the net. Attack still trying to maintain possession. Gore into the corner. He gets knocked off the puck. And now it's carried out by Wakely. Down the left wing side. Drop back to McDonald. McDonald trying to make a move as they're back to 5-on-5. But he gets blocked going towards the net. And the Attack will end up with the puck. 12:30 to play in the first period. No score. Nelson chasing it all the way down into his own zone. He plays it over to Kennedy, who is once again the 7th defenseman on the ice tonight, as the Battalion playing shorthanded by one forward again, just like they did in the game against Niagara. It's Pasquale Zito's turn to sit out tonight as the Attack bring it back in over the blue line. They send it towards DiVincentis. He shovels it off into the corner, and Nelson gets the puck up ahead. It's off the stick of Romani out to the neutral zone. Back to Nelson coming in on a late 2-on-1. The shot just whipped wide by the Lee's leading shot taker, Ty Nelson. In behind the net, it's Petrov who picks it up behind his own net. He sends it out to the neutral zone to Jackson. Jackson circling the neutral zone, waiting for some fresh line mates to get out on the ice. He finds Van Steensel at his own blue line. Now he feeds it up ahead. Terrien coming in. He gets a stick in his skate, and that will draw a call. And so with 11:36 to go in the first, still no score. The Battalion will have the man advantage.
Yeah, still no score is the key there. We've had some fantastic chances at both ends. But on that play there, Jacob Terrien drawing the penalty. He's been a guy who's really impressed me this year. Just a scrappy little player. I mean, he's a rookie, so you see the size difference a little bit more. But just, yeah, charging down the middle of the ice on that one, getting the stick between his legs, and now the Battalion will come out on the power play.
Battalion's 7th-ranked power play on the ice, and they've got the puck. It's Petrov to the left side. Nelson back up to the blue line. Petrov, one-timer coming in from Nelson, and that one stopped by Chenard and net. Played behind the net by the Attack and sent down the ice. But you're right about Terrien. That was, perfect analysis, and it's the fact that he's got no fear to go in and make those plays. And now Petrov racing down the ice as he brings it in, sends it on net, and Chenard had to make a bit of a tricky save there on a no-look shot from Petrov, but he makes the save altogether. 11:01 remaining in the first, no score.
Yeah, Petrov just shoveling it across the front of the net, hoping to hit somebody, and Chenard doing well to calm that one down. But yeah, Terrien, you said, no fear, just nothing from him. And you see him taking on guys, they look like they're twice his size, but obviously not that big a difference.
Playback underway. Jackson to the right side. In the middle, the shot just going wide of the net, and the Attack will clear it out. Ricocheted off the boards right towards DiVincentis, who has the franchise record for most wins in a season by a goaltender with 32 and counting, as he sends it down the ice towards Romani, who comes over the blue line, drops it back to Winslow, across to the right side to Jackson, back up high in the zone to Winslow, back to Jackson, one-timer coming in, and that one's high of the net. Now it's McDonald who picks it up on the left side, feeds Jackson at the blue line on the right side. Jackson drops it back to McDonald, who walks in on the right side circle. Now he goes behind the net, sends it back in the corner for Bloom. Bloom sends it back up high. Now across to the left side to Wakely. Wakely into the circle on the left side to McDonald. McDonald's shot comes in, and that stopped. And the clearing attempt goes off the shoulder of Winslow and stays in at the blue line. Now it's over to McDonald. McDonald in the circle. The shot goes wide. Wakely on the far side tries to shovel it past the Attack player. A secondary chance, and now a third chance. Finally gets it in front of the net. McDonald's there, in front to Bloom, and the shot is stopped by Chenard. He had no idea where it was there. But man, oh man, those shots are just finding the body of the netminder right now.
Yeah, Battalion with a couple of really good looks right in front of Chenard. And yeah, like you said, the pads and the body almost just getting in the way. But the Battalion getting a couple of lucky breaks there, clearing attempts, hitting guys at the blue line, but generating some really good chances off of those.
8 seconds remaining in the North Bay power play against the 8th-ranked penalty kill. Check that, 11th-ranked penalty kill of the Owen Sound Attack. With 9:44 remaining in the first period, and it is a scoreless game. The Attack get the puck off the draw, and in their own zone, they will clear it down the ice. And now time has expired, so that won't be an icing call. But a nice way to finish off the penalty kill if you are the Owen Sound attack. They keep the game even at 0, and now we are back to even on the ice. As the attack look to move the puck forward, they lose it in the neutral zone, and Hislop will play it behind his own blue line for the Battalion, but he tried to get it up to line. That got blocked by the attack, and now they have control. Shot coming in from Barlow, and that one's high. Played on the far side blue line. Going into the corner, Arnsby stops it, tries to shovel it along the boards. That got stopped, and now the attack continue their attack in the zone. Remember, this is the power play unit still out there for North Bay. They might be getting tired, but Arnsby throws a hit, and the Battalion get the puck out of the zone, and it's McDonald down the left wing over the blue line, back across to the right side. It deflects off the stick of Arnsby. Arnsby gets it now off the corner, tries to play it to the circle. That shot is blocked, and that's cleared by the attack. Nelson has it in the neutral zone, and he'll lead the charge back in the area. He puts it in on net, and he gets shoved into the boards behind the net, getting taken out of that play. It is the attack going the other way. And a collision there with Nelson. Springs the puck free, and it goes the other way with Precision going into the attack zone. He gets stopped on the far side boards and loses the puck. And now it's the attack going in on a 3-on-2. They drop it back on the left side boards, and the shot comes in. That one's stopped. And now North Bay bring it back out and go the other way. It's up to the line, and Tarasevich jumps it in towards the goaltender, Chenard. He leaves it behind the net, and the attack will play it out, but very quickly, Winslow picks up the loose puck in the neutral zone, and he shovels it back over the blue line with 7:45 to go in the first period. Still no score as the attack have it behind their own net, and they will hold it there just to try and calm things down. Remember, the whistle hasn't gone since the penalty ended. So it's almost been straight play since that second power play unit got out there for the North Bay Battalion. And now the attack move it into the North Bay zone. Steen with it, plays it off the end boards, bounces in front of the net. The attack have it. They play it back outside, now to the line. The shot coming in, save made. Loose puck picked up in front of the net by Kennedy of the Battalion. He sends it around to the near side to Petrov. Petrov sends it back to Winslow behind the net, and now the Battalion will have the turn to try and calm things down. Now they move it out to the neutral zone. Pass up to the blue line to Romani. Romani's pass goes over the line, doesn't connect with Wakely, and now there's a delayed offside, and that allows the attack to move it down the ice with 6:45 to play in the period. Still no score as the puck bounces around in the middle of the North Bay zone, picked up by the Battalion, and it's Romani who carries it out. Romani over the blue line. He drops it back to Bloom. Bloom's no-look pass gets picked off in the middle of the attack zone, and that will allow them to clear the area. The pass down the ice is deflected, and it goes into the North Bay zone with 6:20 to play. The Battalion bring it out. Skating out of the zone is Christopoulos, and he gets his own dump in as it went around the boards to the blue line. Then he dumps it back in towards the near side. It comes up to the line to Hislop. Hislop feeds it down the left wing to Bloom. Bloom to Jackson. The shot goes high, but it goes off the top of the glass down to Christopoulos at the line. His shot comes in, and that one's blocked in front of the net as well, this time by the attack players who were stationed in the defensive zone. Now they get it out of their defensive area. Shot right back in by the Battalion with 5:45 to play in the period. The attack get it out. Bristowski breaks up the play and finds Bloom in the neutral zone. Bloom sends it back across to the near side of McDonald, and McDonald will dump it in on the left wing. Behind the net, the goaltender Chenard plays it for the attack, and then he leaves it back there. And now the attack will look to move it out of the zone. They get it up to the neutral zone, and now it's carried in over the blue line. Down the right wing side is Petrovsky. He shovels it into the corner. Try to get it back in front to Petrovsky. It's knocked away by Nelson of the Battalion, and Nelson now finds Precision, and Precision sends it to the right side boards. Trying to get it out of the area. The Battalion can't clear it out the line. It's shot right back in with 5 minutes to play in the period. Still no score as Nelson finds it behind the North Bay net. He leads the charge down the ice and dumps it down, and now they're going to call icing on that play. And Nelson is arguing the call, but won't matter either way as we finally have our break. So when we come back, we'll hear from Derek, who's downstairs. It's scoreless halfway through the first.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni First. For information on special events and news or access to the alumni job portal, visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
We are scoreless in the first, and Derek, a lot of back and forth play from either end, but neither team really finding an opening here to really make their attack work right now.
No, this is a really good example of how the Battalion needs to get ready to play playoff hockey. The speed is there tonight. All four lines have gotten their feet moving early in this game. You can see the intensity level, a couple of big hits. Both teams have traded power play opportunities very early on. We've seen excellent goaltending at both ends of the night. DiVincenzo is having to make a big save early on, but I really like how it feels like everyone on the Battalion is out there on the ice and looks engaged in this game tonight, Matt. It's a really good atmosphere down here between the benches.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, Derek. And he's right. All four lines have been out there because Ryan Olahan has no choice. These plays just continue. He's got to get the extra legs out there. As play now does continue, the Battalion win the draw in the defensive zone. Bristowski, though, falls down as he was going to the puck in the attack. Trying to play it in the middle of the zone, but the pass is blocked by Hislop, and he gets it up to the blue line to Terrien, and Terrien carries it over the line and sends it into the neutral zone. 4:30 to play as Barlow brings it back in, sends it to the middle of the zone. That one's knocked away, and now Petrov, the Battalion's leading scorer, sends it down the ice. It goes to the far side corner, and the attack get it right back out as Gore comes down the left wing side, dumping it into the near side corner. Getting the touch on that quickly was Hislop. He tried to get it behind the net to Arnsby. He gets pulled down the behind the net, gets back up, and that moves the puck out of the area. Sent back to the far side as Christopoulos picks it up, and he will clear the zone. Steen with it now. As the attack move back into the attacking end, it is shot towards DiVincenzo. He makes the save, and now it's loose behind the net. DiVincenzo's way out of his position there, but Tarasevic comes in and bails him out. So not only are the goaltenders having a good night so far, these defenses are not allowing any room within those hash marks areas right now. With 3:20 to play in the first period, North Bay now send the puck into the Owen Sound attack zone, and they clear it right back out. Winslow from the neutral zone can't move it forward. The puck bounced around. It's being chased down the ice by North Bay. They get it from behind their own blue line, and they feed it up ahead to Bloom. Bloom comes over the line, but then gets knocked away from the puck, and it's sent all the way back into the North Bay end. Lukin out of the box after taking a lengthy penalty early on in the period. He's still got control of it behind the North Bay net. 2:40 to play in the first. Still no score as Lukin sends it down the left wing for Jackson. Across the right side to Winslow. Walking in. The shot goes off the crossbar and out. It was almost a harmless looking shot from Winslow that I guess changed direction a bit on the goaltender, Chenard. And now the attack come the other way. They try to center the pass, but that one is blocked as everyone was coming into the zone. Play to the far side. Barlow's there. One of the players to watch tonight. He sends it around to the near side. And now into the corner, and that's Barlow there again. Battling hard for the puck here. It's picked up by Hislop, though, for the Battalion, and he gets it out with 1:50 to play. Pass coming through the zone, and it's picked up by Gore. His shot from the right wing side is wide of the net. Now Gore gets the puck back. He's behind the net, tries to center it. Too many green shirts in the area, and those green shirts are able to clear it out of the zone. 1:25 to go in the first period. No score. Behind the net, Braden Hislop. One of the couple of acquisitions General Manager Adam Dennis made this season to try and bolster the team. He sends it up the middle for Wakely. Wakely got over the blue line, but then he didn't really get any support, so the attack got the puck away from him. But then the attack can't clear the zone as Romani stops at the line. Now Romani moving in, digs around the goaltender, tries to put it behind him. The puck is loose, and they're saying the goaltender, Chenard, has it. And now there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in front of the net. Chenard is incensed at the official for not calling the play down, as Wakely was digging away at it there, but what a weird sequence that was.
Yeah, the puck just getting stuck on the side of the net. Chenard right there on it, and the Owen Sound attack taking exception to Dylan Wakely, who thought he saw a loose puck and taking a couple of whacks at their goaltender.
59.6 seconds remaining in the first. North Bay have the edge 10-7 in the shot category, but it's still scoreless, and Romani almost buried that one, though. That was a nice move to get around the goaltender, but just ran out of real estate behind the net. Arnsby wins, has control of the puck off the draw, but he kicked it away, and the puck gets cleared out of the zone. In behind the net, the Attack have it. They send it all the way up ahead to Petrovsky. He's going in with Burrows on a 2-on-1, but Lukin with a nice defensive play to knock him off the puck. It goes to the far side boards, comes out to the middle of the zone, and Van Stiesel takes it away there. He sends it down the right wing side, over the blue line, drops it back to Arnsby. Arnsby with room, walking in, gets a shot, and he sends it wide of the net. Now back to Arnsby in front, and he scores! The captain comes through, and Liam Arnsby
What
gets
a
the
play
goal
there. Liam Arnsby getting, I think he had 3 different opportunities there. He walked in, I believe it was Van Stiesel, tied up 2 Attack players in the middle of the ice. Arnsby comes in, gets the first shot, goes behind the net, picks it up, gets back in front, and finally buries one. And after a really, really tough first period with all kinds of action at both ends, the Battalion finally break through and are up 1-0.
It's a new career high for Liam Arnsby. That's his 10th goal of the season. He had 9 last year before being drafted by the Florida Panthers in the 7th round of the 2022 NHL entry draft. And what a big time for number 11 to get it in the first period to take the 1-0 lead. With 3 seconds to go, the Battalion are going to get out of the first period with a 1-0 lead thanks to number 11. And for the North Bay Battalion, we read the stat before, 28-0-1 when they do score the first goal of the game. And they've done it once again here tonight. So Derek and Lyndon will break down everything we saw here in the first period. On the other side of this break, you're watching the Frontline Game Day broadcast presented by Average Joe's right here on YouTube. Stay tuned.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, and keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we're back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens, where the Battalion strike late in the first period and take a 1-0 lead into the dressing room. Let's take a look at the first period scoring summary. First off, the only goal of that period, Liam Arnsby with his 10th of the season from Nikita Tarasevich at 19:39 was the only goal of the first period. A few penalties to talk about. First off, there was a fight involving Alexander Lukin and Jackson Stewart at the 3:57 mark to set the atmosphere for this game. Stewart picking up the extra 2 for instigator. Meanwhile, Alexander Lukin picked up a 2-minute for interference penalty in that scrum. So those penalties offset, and neither team came out of that incident without a man advantage. And then Braden Hislop went off for cross-checking at 5:19, and Ben Cormier went off for tripping at 8:24. So both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage in that first period. Let's take a look at the shots on goal. In the first period, it was the home side out shooting the attack 12-7 in the 20 minutes of play. Two other games on tap in the OHL tonight. None of those really have any influence on the standings for the North Bay Battalion. First off, in Flint, the Firebirds lead the Erie Otters by a score of 1-0. That game is through, one period of play. Also, in Sault Ste. Marie, after one period, it's the Sudbury Wolves leading the Greyhounds by a score of 3-0. While Linden, quite an entertaining first period. Not many whistles to talk about. You didn't get on the air much. You got to watch a lot of hockey, but it was one of the most entertaining periods I've seen here in Memorial Gardens this season.
Oh, yeah, definitely one of the best periods we've seen all year. It looked like playoff hockey. Both teams fighting hard at both ends. The whistles just not coming, except for the first 5 minutes, where I think we had like 6 whistles in that time. But they, like I said, it looked like playoff hockey. Chances, goaltending fantastic. Teams playing hard, offense and defense, just outstanding.
Liam Arnsby getting the goal late in the period. 10th goal of the season. First time in his career, third year in the season, that he made double digits. So it's a milestone for Arnsby, who is the captain of this team. Doesn't lead offensively, but he does those intangibles so well for the Battalion.
Yeah, definitely. His stat line is not the most impressive. You mentioned just hitting that double-digit mark. But, yeah, for Liam Arnsby, that's to get that goal late in the period, you can go into the room with that some energy and some momentum and try to carry that through. Matt and I mentioning that 28-0-1 for the Battalion after scoring the first goal.
So it looks quite positive for the Battalion, hoping to keep that record in tap as they have that 1-0 lead after the first period. I'm going to bring in Ben Long. We'll talk a little bit goaltending here. DiVincentis had to make a big save early on a breakaway opportunity, closing that 5-hole. He's looked solid. He looks engaged tonight. That's what we need from DiVincentis.
Yeah, there's been a couple of saves where he looked like he wasn't quite sure where the puck was, just because of it in close play up against the pads and stuff, but he's done a really good job of keeping control, not over moving. There's a few plays where he, kept that 5-hole closed when he was way across the crease, and it could have been tucked in easily, but because he's on his game like he usually is, we're at 0-0. Oh, sorry, 1-0. Yeah. That Arnsby goal was a beauty.
Well, I'm going to talk about that in a second, that Arnsby goal. Nick Chenard hasn't looked out of place, though, at the other end. He's made 11 stops on 12 shots. A lot of them, again, have been in close range. He made a nice stop going from his left to right on a 2-on-1 opportunity. Chenard not looking outdone by DiVincentis in that first.
No, he's looked really good, too. He seemed to be not doing a whole lot of frantic movement, which a lot of times you see goalies come in here, and I think it might be from the loud building. I think it gives goalies kind of the shakes a little bit starting early, throws them off the game a little bit, but he's looked pretty good. He's had a few things like the that Winslow shot from sort of low on the far half boards that ended up hitting the crossbar and like the bottom of the crossbar and going out. That there's been a few times where he's got lucky with just sort of slight misses, but anytime he's had to make the save, he's made it.
But hey, the post is part of the equipment, so really he was in position, as that's all that Winslow had was that crossbar.
I know I count those as saves, and if you hit the post, that's because that's all I gave you.
You said the Arnsby goal was a good shot. To me, it kind of looked like he caught Chenard a little off, back on his heels, because to me it wasn't that hard shot that Arnsby beat him with. It was more of a knuckleball off-speed puck that got past Chenard. It looked like Chenard anticipated a much harder shot, made a quick glove movement, and it just beat him low underneath. I know, as a goaltender, you and I, sometimes those off-speed shots are a lot harder to block than a full shot.
Yeah, I hate those ones. Because I don't play a high level of hockey, there's all level of players where there's some guys who can go in and they can pick any corner anywhere. And I find I have an easier time with them because if they know where they're shooting, I can read it a little bit. It's the guys that, the guys who shoot like I shoot when I play out, where you're not quite sure where it's going. It might be going top corner, but it might be in the bottom too, and you're not sure how fast it's going to be. It's hard to prepare for those ones.
Yeah, but lucky enough, Arnsby does find the back of the net. Linden, coming out in the second period, can the Battalion make any adjustments, or have they been playing a solid game so far?
I think the game has been pretty solid from the Battalion. They're playing that style of game that we're used to, jumping in on those rushes off of turnovers. Their penalty kill looked textbook, but I think the thing you can improve is just getting those shots on the net. They've had a couple where sticks have gotten in the way or the shot hasn't quite been clean. The Arnsby one worked out okay, I think, but yeah, if you can tidy those up and really get some high quality shots as opposed to the high quality chances that they've been getting, if that's a distinction I can make, then I think they're looking in really good shape for the rest of this game.
And it's just weird how it seems like all four lines, all 11 forwards have been engaged, have been really picked up their foot speed drastically tonight. Owen Sound looks to be a very high-tempo team. You see a lot of that in the Western Conference. They're a lot known for wide-open, fast-paced, high-scoring hockey. The Eastern Conference is a lot tighter, harder to get goals, more physical. But Owen Sound looks right at home playing that physical game. But then on the flip side, Battalion looked just as well playing that fast-speed hockey.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I spotted was, especially our player to watch, Colby Barlow, getting in front of the net, causing some problems for the Battalion, and a couple other guys too, just causing that problem in front, getting some traffic in that, like you said, you don't necessarily expect from some of these Western Conference teams that tend to be the good shooting, open ice kind of teams.
And when I was down there talking about Colby Barlow, it's just unbelievable for a kid that's 17 years old to look that mature. I thought when first seeing him, he was 19, 20 years old, full beard, not full beard, but it's the growth is there. He's bigger, he's composed, he's filled out already. He looks like one of those players that's ready to make that next step to the NHL. Reminds me, not much as Aaron Ekblad did. I think Ekblad looked years ahead, but he does look like he's among the more mature players at that age category.
Yeah, I think that's the thing you just get at this level of hockey, that the difference between a top 10 pick and a second or third round guy is that guy that's sort of filled out already and looks like he's ready to play at the next level, where some guys just need that extra year. A lot of guys come back to junior, but yeah, like you said, he is definitely in that first category. It looks like he's ready to go.
And just to jump in on one thing that we saw out of him too, that wouldn't have been picked up in our broadcast, when right after the fight, he was the first guy over to the bench to say, hey, good job, to his guy that stood up for their other player. And that's what you see out of captains. That's what you expect to see out of guys who are real team players. And I know that's one thing that Adam Dennis talks, and we've talked about Arnsby quite a bit, that's one thing that he brings. He doesn't bring a lot of goals, although he has tonight. He usually doesn't bring a whole lot of goals, but he brings all that leadership. He brings the team together. He's the glue that makes it all work.
And it's just interesting to see a player in his second year like Barlow getting the privilege to wear that C for the Owen Sound attack.
Yeah, the youngest captain ever for the Owen Sound attack. That, I think you said it. He brings something intangible.
Now, interesting parallel there with Arnsby. It was technically his second year that he was the captain. I mean, there was the COVID year, so it was really his third OHL season. But it was his only second year playing, and the first year was cut in half. So there's some fun similarities between Arnsby and Barlow, who I think will go substantially higher in the draft.
Yeah, definitely. Arnsby going in the late rounds to Florida in the last draft. Barlow predicted to be a top 10 draft pick this year in the NHL draft. Sure looks like he does deserve that out there on the ice. He doesn't really done anything outstanding yet in this game, but you can see the potential is there.
That's right. He's done all the little things the way you want to see players do things. And with the skilled players like that, you see little flashes of brilliance, but you want to make sure that it's not brilliance and then complete dullness. You want to make sure that he has that ability to play the game the way it's supposed to be played, because when you get to the next level, it's not the same level of domination, so you have to be able to do the right things, all the little steps along the way.
So, Lyndon, we talked about the Battalion coming out in the second period. If you're on the Owen Sound bench, what little adjustments are you making to kind of counter the Battalion game you saw in that first 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think Owen Sound, too, has been doing a lot of things right so far in this game. You mentioned that matching that physicality and bringing that out. Unfortunately, a loss of one of their more physical guys with the fight. He's still out sitting for a couple of minutes with the instigator penalty and everything. But if you're Owen Sound, I think you got to play at another higher level, find another gear to match the Battalion and really bring it to them in the second period.
Wow, this is a Wednesday night affair for the North Bay Battalion, a rare Wednesday nighter as we're used to seeing their home games on a Thursday evening. Their next game will be in Oshawa on Friday evening. They'll be down in Oshawa to take on the Generals before they return home for a last of their Western Conference teams as they take on the London Knights, who have clinched their 12th Midwest Division title in 24 years. Quite an accomplishment for the London Knights. They're currently in a battle for the top spot with the Windsor Spitfires in the Western Conference. While we're all set up for the second period, it's the North Bay Battalion leading the Owen Sound attack by a score of 1-0. When we come back on the other side, Matt Sucrum will rejoin Lyndon Okamp for your second period intermission, or second period action as it's Attack Battalion on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
welcome you back inside Memorial Gardens in North Bay, Ontario. I'm Matthew Sucrum alongside Lyndon Hukamp, and we are getting set up for the second period as the Battalion and the Owen Sound Attack have a stalemate right now. Check that. The Battalion have the 1-0 lead going into the second period as they scored very late in that contest. Liam Arnsby getting the opening goal. The Battalion will be looking for more of that from the rest of their roster in this second period.
Yeah, I know that goal came late, but you and our producer Ben just forgetting about the goal. That's a big one for the Battalion, I think.
I think it is for sure, mostly because I think they played well into more of the attacks style of hockey. It was physical, a lot of forechecking, and not a lot of cycle play. So the Battalion may be going to try to shift things back to their way here in the second period. We'll see if they can do that as the puck is dropped. And period number 2 is underway. Jordan for the attack sends it into the North Bay zone. It's picked up by Hislop behind the net. He tries to clear the zone. The attack maintain possession of the line. Shot coming in. That goes wide of the net. And it's back to the blue line with Owen Sound in control. They send it behind the net. Back up top of the zone for Jordan. His shot comes in. It's stopped in front of the net, but the loose puck is swiped at and then recovered by Dom DiVincentis. 19:27 to go. 1-0 North Bay lead in the second period.
That puck not going the way Hislop thought it was going to. He just got a stick in to break it up. The puck jumping up off his stick, almost right into the strike zone for an attack player who takes a swing at it. But handled okay by DiVincentis.
And remember, the attack had a goal called back earlier in the first period when they were on the power play. So looking to regain that one back as they win the draw and get the cycle game going. But very quickly it's knocked away by Petrov out to the neutral zone. The attack recover. They send it right back in. Now Petrov in his own end again with control. Sends it back to the far corner to Lukin. He plays it down the middle for Romani, who finds Petrov walking in. Drops it back to Wakely. Wakely across to Romani. Wide open and scores. Tic-tac-toe. Here we go. Anthony Romani makes it 2-0. A minute and 1 second into the second period.
Tic-tac-toe is right. That was a beautiful goal by we're getting all three on that top line. Petrov, Wakely, Romani. Just seconds before that goal, I was looking around because I didn't see Wakely out there. And then the next thing he comes in, Petrov with a cute little drop pass, finds Romani left all alone on the far side, and nothing the attack can do.
And
the Battalion up 2-0.
That's going to be Romani's 18th goal this season. He's put up a 10 spot on his goal-scoring output from last season, and he has really come on strong, especially in this second half of the season. Really, ever since the calendar turned to December, he had a 4-game goal-scoring streak from December 8th to the 15th, and that's his first goal since February 24th in that win over Saginaw. So Anthony Romani having a really good second season here with the North Bay Battalion, over 30 points as well. Now the attack in a bit of a hole. They give up a goal near the end of the first, and they give up a goal real early in the second as they bring the puck into the zone. Gore with it in the middle. His shot goes off a stick over the glass and out of play with 18:15 remaining in the second period.
Yeah, one of those things if you're the Owen Sound attack, and I'm sure this line was said in the dressing room, is that momentum doesn't exist between periods. But I think I would agree with that, except in a case like this where you give up a goal late and then you give up a goal early. I think that has some effect on your team.
Absolutely. Coming up this week on the front line, the North Bay Battalion will have one more game as they host the London Knights on Sunday afternoon. You can catch all the action right here on the Frontline Game Day broadcast on YouTube, presented by Average Joe's. Of course, they will have a road game as they will head down to Oshawa and play them on Friday night. In the neutral zone, Of course, we do not carry the road games this season. Although with your support on our Patreon page, maybe we can get there. Go ahead, and if you're enjoying this, throw a couple of ducats in our buckets to keep this thing going. Sent towards the front of the net, and the goaltender knocks the net loose as he is clearly aware of trying to make sure that the Battalion don't get that open pass to his blocker side now.
Yeah, Chenard coming across there, just I see a play we've seen a lot from DiVincentis at that end, knocking the net off, coming across hard. But yeah, after giving up a goal like the last one for the attack there, you become hyper aware, I think, if you're a defenseman, to watch that open guy.
I was going to say, I mean, Romani kind of snuck in into that part of the slot, and there's really nothing Chenard can do about it when everybody leaves him wide open. But you got to start thinking that, okay, now they're going to try to go blocker side on me during this game. Here comes Christopoulos with the puck over the blue line, drops it back. Shot coming in from Van Steensel, and that's blocked off a body and goes to the corner. Van Steensel throws a hit on the far side, and the puck ends up on the stick of Hislop at the line. He sends it to the goal line to Tarasevich, trying to feed Arnsby in front, but didn't get to his stick. Now it's Arnsby who does get the puck in the right side, and the shot comes in, and that's blocked. One of the attack defenders took a hard hit. The puck gets knocked loose out over the blue line, and then it's shot back towards the attack end, but it goes way up, and it's a stanchion in the rafters, and it's called dead. 16:48 to go in the second period. It is 2-0 North Bay, and the faceoff will come right at center ice.
Yeah, a couple of guys getting knocked down there. We saw that huge hit from Van Steensel on the far side. And then the North Bay faithful giving it to the officiating crew here after Arnsby gets hauled down on the near side.
We said the games last week against Sudbury, Mississauga, and Niagara were certainly good for the Battalion to get back into the win column after dropping the two previous. But now this week, this is a real test. Not to knock Sudbury, Mississauga, and Niagara, but this Owen Sound attack team comes in and plays a much more physical style. And you know, again, this is a playoff-type matchup, although these two teams won't face each other in the playoffs unless they both get to the OHL Finals. But this is the kind of style you can expect to see once the regular season ends. Playback underway as Seed has it, coming out of the attack zone. He dumps it in, takes a hit from Nelson on the boards. The puck goes to the far side. Petrovsky's shot goes in. That save is made. And right on the doorstep, DiVincentis turns the puck away with Cedric Guindon right in on the doorstep. And now it is Bloom the other way for North Bay from the right side boards. He takes the shot and it deflects wide. Bloom back in the lineup after not being in the lineup on Sunday against Niagara. The puck comes to the near side point. Kennedy's shot comes in, and McDonald tips it just high. Nice little shot pass there from Kennedy, the defender for the Battalion. Out to the neutral zone, and it's sent in towards DiVincentis. He stops it in net and plays it down. Played out ahead to Wakely now with 15:20 to go in the period. He sends it up ahead to Petrov, who dumps it in. And that Petrov, Wakely, and Romani line listed as the top line tonight, and they've got a goal to show for it so far, I think is what I'm trying to say. Play back into the North Bay zone as DiVincentis makes a kick save. Puck picked up on the far side boards and now sent behind the net with Denny Gore in control. He tries to feed it in front. That's blocked, and North Bay looking to get it out, but it's stopped at the line. Shot comes in, stopped by Kennedy for the Battalion, and he clears it out on the pass to Petrov. He finds Romani walking in, sends it to Petrov. Back to Wakely. Wakely tried to pass back across to Petrov a couple of times, and it got blocked both instances and cleared out by the attack. North Bay bring it right back in. It's Romani, feeds it across to Petrov, walking into Wakely, and he fires it into the pads of the attack netminder Chenard. Oh man, Wakely almost had it. His 31st of the season right there. North Bay now trying to maintain possession, and Steen had himself wrapped all up in the arms of Romani there. And Steen is going to get called for holding with 14:15 remaining in the second period.
On that last North Bay chance there, Wakely had Chenard beat, almost looking exactly like the goal earlier in this period, not even 5 minutes before. Just tic-tac-toe, and Wakely fires it right into the body of Chenard. And then, yeah, you mentioned Steen just getting tied up, taking exception to the call. I'm guessing he thought he wasn't holding him too much, or that was how the game has been going.
Yeah,
But
I think
getting a call there.
I think he thought it might have just been holding on both sides there. But only one of them gets penalized, so the Battalion have their second power play opportunity of the game, but they give up a break chance here down the ice. Weindon with a shot, and that goes just wide of the net. They had a 2-on-1 there, and again, they are on the penalty kill. 11th ranked penalty kill going into this game. And the Battalion power play has looked really good over the last few games. As those numbers start to climb, they ranked 7th on the power play coming into tonight. 0 for 1 so far. They bring it back in the zone. Bloom in front to Jackson, and the one-timer shot goes off the body and high. Picked up on the far side. The attack can't clear. Kept in at the line. Now it's fed down the boards. Van Steensel's there. Tries to play in the corner, but nobody's there for North Bay, and that allows the attack to send it down the ice. 2-0 the lead for the North Bay Battalion. 13 minutes to go in the second period. And the Battalion turn the puck over in their own zone. Barlow coming in towards the net. And the stop is made by DiVincentis. It was DiVincentis who basically gave the puck away from behind the net. But none of the Battalion players were coming into the zone for DiVincentis to give it past anybody.
Yeah, nobody coming back to help there, going off on the line change. And, of course, this second period, the long change, I think just catching him off.
Petrov racing down the ice. Drops it back at the line to Romani. Romani off the boards to Nelson at the point to the right side. Jackson. He sends it to the right side circle. Petrov in the middle. Romani. He's got another one. Power play goal for Anthony Romani. It's 3-0 North Bay.
That one's on the penalty killers there. Romani gets the pass in the slot, and basically no one comes out to challenge him. He just takes a step in, winds up and fires, and picks the corner past Chenard. That's one if you're the Owen Sound head coach. Dale DeGray here, that's general manager, sorry. Greg Walters, the coach. That's one you're not happy about.
Absolutely. And for Anthony Romani, that's his 19th goal of the season now, his second of the period. And for the North Bay Battalion, that's the 51st power play goal they have scored this season. As we said, they are coming on strong on the special teams play. Penalty kill, ranked first in the league, and those power play numbers continue to go up. I don't have it in front of me, but they've gotten at least one power play goal in every game, I believe, going all the way back to the Ottawa game back on February 20th. They had a power play goal against Saginaw, Flint, Sarnia, Sudbury, Mississauga, and Niagara. So at least one over the last 6 games now.
At a really key time, too, for the Battalion.
Yeah, because in the month of February, that was an area where they actually really struggled in on the power play. 11:35 to go in this game. Check that in this period with a 3-0 lead for the North Bay Battalion in this game. Tarasevic tries to feed it to the middle. He finds Jackson, but it's knocked away from the stick of Jackson, and the attack pick it up, and they will send it down the ice. Racing towards it is Winslow, and he will get the touch, and that will draw the icing call. Well, to get you ready for MLB's opening day, the Frontline Broadcast presents the 3-2 count, hosted by myself and Courtney Kenny. This week we talk about the many rule changes facing the MLB this season. We talk about Jose Bautista's rise to the level of excellence at the Rogers Center, and more on that show as well. Subscribe to the Frontline wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and don't forget to leave us a review, like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, the 2 signs of spring in North Bay. One, the sand coming out of the snowbanks, and spring training baseball back on TV.
That's it. Attack win the draw. They send it out of the zone down the ice, and it's picked up quickly by the Battalion, and they bring it right back down the other way. Now it's sent up ahead to Burrow. Burrows dumps it in, and North Bay send it right back out, but this will be icing called against the North Bay Battalion with 10:56 to go. A much different period than the first one, mostly because goals are being scored, but there's more room in the offensive zone for the North Bay Battalion so far in this period, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't know what it is exactly that has changed, but yeah, something you think after that first goal that Owen Sound gave up, that they'd be a little more on that to shut down that room, but yeah, that third goal looking pretty similar.
North Bay get the puck out of the zone off the draw. The attack send it back forward. Bit of an oxymoron there, back forward, but as they send it in the zone, and now it's Burrows right in front of the net. He was one-on-one with Winslow there and actually got around him, but then couldn't settle the puck down on his stick to make a shot. Burrows gets kneed by McDonald, and that's going to send McDonald to the box for sure. Green Dawn tried to come in and maybe drop the gloves with McDonald there, but he certainly gave him a hard shove. Now, fortunately for the attack, Burrows is up, and he looks to be okay. McDonald is sent to the box right away, and for the Battalion, they're hoping that it's just a 2-minute minor here, because sometimes these knee-on-knee calls end up in being more, but I think they're just going to call it roughing here against McDonald.
Yeah, I think that was just a 2-minute there. Yeah, it goes up on the board now. That was unfortunately started by DiVincentis almost giving the puck away again as he comes out behind the net to play it. Not his best puck handling game for Dom DiVincentis, but yeah, just a nasty looking hit from McDonald catching the knee of Burrows. But we'll see that number 1 North Bay penalty kill go back to work here as they win the opening faceoff and send it down to the attack zone. And look for that Battalion, always good denying the zone entry from their opponent.
Yeah, the attack on their second power play of the game. Here comes a shot from the point, and that one just goes wide. Back to the point as it's sent in by Petrovsky. Now Burrows with a chance, and he sends it wide. Played off the back of the net, sent to the far side to Barlow. He's the team's leading scorer. He sends it to the point to Petrovsky. His shot gets deflected right into the hands of Lukin, who plays it down and plays it out. 9:39 to go in the second period. The Battalion ahead 3-0. 2 goals in this second period, both courtesy of Anthony Romani. As the attack bring it back in with 9:20 to play and a minute remaining on their power play. It's Petrovsky coming in, sends it towards DiVincentis. It deflects to the opposite side, but DiVincentis just keeps the right pad down to kick that puck away.
I think that was his own man in front too, trying to block the shot and only catching a piece of it, making it tricky for DiVincentis.
Yeah, hard shot from the point that almost worked out for the attack. Now it's stolen, and it's Harasavage coming down the ice on the breakaway. Feeds it over to the left side to Bloom, but it just goes through his skates. And now the attack go back in on a 3-on-2 the other way. They send it towards the net on the dump in. And it's picked up back there by Burrows. Drops it back to the point. The shot coming in. And that one's turned away by DiVincentis. And now Bloom has it at the blue line. And he gets it out of the zone. 10 seconds to go in McDonald's penalty. 8:20 to play in the period. 3-0 lead for North Bay. Here come the attack again. Down the left wing side. Green Dawn plays it in front. Going in towards the net. Drags it around DiVincentis but can't bear the puck, and now another chance. Played up high. Shot comes in, deflected wide. Picked up on the far side corner. Now in the middle of the zone. Gore shot goes wide. Picked up on the near side by Green Dawn. He sends it to Huki. Huki at the line, plays it to the right side. Back across the left side point to Seed. Back to the right side. Shot comes in. Save made. Rebound is turned away, and the Battalion dump it down the ice. That will be icing called, and we will go to a break. 3-0 North Bay lead here in the second. We'll hear from Derek right after this.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/Kurt for more information.
Well, Derek, the Battalion have a 3 3-0 lead, but they're playing a little short-handed right now as Bristowski has gone to the dressing room. What did you see down there?
He was dealing with, can't really say exactly what it was, but he was dealing with a lower body injury somewhere in the groin area he was dealing with, and he went straight back to the dressing room, and trainer Sachs followed him, but quickly returned. So I'm going to rule him out for the rest of the game. His return is very unlikely into tonight's contest. So a bad break for Brustowski, who has been dealing injury-prone most of this season. But the big story is the passing in this period by the North Bay Battalion. The way they move that puck around in the offensive zone, really spreading out the defense of the Owen counter-attack, and that has contributed to those 2 goals that have opened up that 3-goal lead, Matt, for the Battalion in the second period.
Thanks for that, Derek, and thanks for the eagle eyes down there on noting Bristowski being out of the game. As the Attack win the draw inside the offensive zone, they move it around at the line. It's sent to the right side, now down low. Playing it back there is Lawrence. He sends it back up to the blue line. And then the pass back across to the near side corner to Gore. Gore gets taken out of play by Nelson, but then McDonald had the puck and he turned it over right in front of the net. And the puck is bouncing around, and it's sent to
Average Joe's Eatery.
DiVincentis, who makes the stoppage in play. 7:19 to go in the second period. 3-0 North Bay lead, but the Attack are coming on strong here in the latter half of this period.
Yes, indeed, the Attack coming on strong. Had to make that joke at least once tonight, didn't we? But it's been a really strong, I'd say, 5-6 minutes from the Owen Sound Attack, leading into that penalty for the Battalion. Just keeping that pressure on. It's seeming like every time the Battalion making a mistake in their own end, there's 3 Attack right there to jump on it.
And they are really making Dom DiVincentis move in between the pipes right now. But the Battalion defense has been able to help him out to this point. You got to wonder how much longer they can sustain that, being hemmed in their own zone, wave after wave, shift after shift. They do get it out here as Petrov comes down the right wing side, sends it on net, and it goes wide. At the point, shot comes in, back around behind the net. Petrov feeds it in front to Jackson, back to the right side of Petrov, and his shot gets blocked in front of the net by an Attack defender. It goes to the far side corner, and it's Romani there. Romani to Petrov on the right side, back to left side of Jackson, and he sends it just wide. Now another shot coming in, and that one is saved. It's Romani who picks up the puck, working down the middle, takes a shot. That one just goes wide as Romani was looking for his 3rd of the period. The puck is picked up by the Attack, sent down the ice, icing called with 6:16 to go in the second period. 3-0 North Bay lead. It was close to being 3-1 at the beginning of that sequence. It was then close to being 4-0 at the end of the sequence.
That's a really big shift from the North Bay Battalion to get that puck down the ice and generate with Petrov and Romani and Jackson down there to generate a couple of really good chances. And like you said, Romani looking for his 3rd goal of the period.
Terrien wins the draw, gets it behind the net to Procession. Procession plays it to the far side. Wakely is the centerman on that line. Again, the Battalion playing 1 forward short, so Wakely being double shifted here. The puck goes down to the near side half boards, and Terrien goes down at those half boards, gets back up, gets the puck to Wakely, sends it to the left side of the zone. Nelson's shot comes in, but it's stopped off his skate. Now Terrien finds it on the right side, but he cannot get a good shot off. It goes behind the net. Wakely sends it to the near side to Kennedy. Kennedy at the point tried the quick pass to Nelson, but he kind of fumbled on it, and it came over the blue line, and they have to retreat, and now they send it back into the Attack zone. And Terrien throws a hit on the boards. The puck gets knocked off the boards, and it's sent right back in from the neutral zone. 5:20 to play in the second period. North Bay ahead, 3-0. Puck sent down the ice, and icing will be called here against the Owen Sound Attack.
Yeah, another really good offensive shift from the North Bay Battalion there. Terrien, we were talking about him in the first period, just getting tangled up there until he gets stuck in the, he just got just got tied up and ended up coming out with the puck. I don't know how, but
somehow
fighting his way through it.
It's like a bulldog, right? He just keeps plowing away there and doesn't give up on any play. The Battalion can't get the puck inside the attack blue line, and the puck gets sent all the way down into the North Bay zone. Cleared quickly by the Battalion, and Owen Sound with it in their own end with 4:45 to play in the second period. It's up ahead to Jordan of the attack now. He comes down the left wing, takes a shot, and DiVincentis makes the quick glove save. Well, March 8th is International Women's Day, a global day in which the world celebrates the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women across the world. And the Ontario Hockey League is proud to highlight women's contributions from across the league for their dedication, leadership, and achievements made on and off the ice. And featured locally is Yolanda Height, the senior manager of accounting for the North Bay Battalion. And you can read the whole story on the OHL's website. And happy International Day, happy International Women's Day from everyone here at the Frontline Broadcast. Play gets back underway with 4:31 as the puck is sent to the far side. Now in the middle, Gore's shot goes just wide. Picked up on the near side by Jordan. Below the circle of Barlow. His shot in and out of the glove of DiVincentis, but turned away by the Battalion defense and cleared quickly. It's skated out by Jackson. Over to the left side of McDonald. McDonald sends it back to the point to Christopoulos, who fires it wide of the net. Picked up on the far side board by Hislop. He sends it in towards the net to McDonald, who finds Bloom on the right side. Bloom walking towards the blue line. Now he kicks it back, goes to the circle. He gets taken down, and the puck is picked up by the attack, and Owen Sound clear the area. Sedley leading it down the ice, sends it to the right side. The shot comes in from the circle, and that goes high. Now to the point. See it across the right side. Another one-timer shot comes in, and that one is stopped by DiVincentis. And that should be 21 saves on the evening so far for Dom for the Battalion.
Yeah, another lights-out performance from Dom and DiVincentis. We mentioned in the pregame, the Battalion not giving up a goal since the 5-minute mark of that Sudbury game almost a week ago. So it's been a really good stretch from this incredible goaltending duo, DiVincentis and Robertson.
Robertson getting the win over the Niagara Ice Dogs on Sunday, while the number one guy, Dom DiVincentis, got the win in Mississauga on Friday night after they beat Sudbury here on home ice. So DiVincentis played on back-to-back nights and arguably was better on night two. Here comes a shot coming in, and that one is stopped by DiVincentis. Puck stays alive inside the North Bay zone. The attack with a couple of passes. They send it to the right side boards. Knocked around in that area. The puck comes to the near side boards now. It's chipped ahead up to the blue line, and it's sent out. The attack controlling it in the neutral zone. They turn it over. North Bay going the other way with Wakely over the blue line. Tries to feed up ahead to Romani. Romani catches the puck, plays it down right in front of the net, and then gets tackled out of the play as the attacker able to get the puck, and they send it out of the zone. 2:30 to play in the second period. 3-0 North Bay lead. Sent up ahead to Tarasevich coming in over the blue line. Now he backhands it in towards the net, and that one stopped. And Tarasevich, maybe a little bit of a hook there behind the net from the attack, but no call coming there. North Bay bring it right back in. Van Steensel plays it towards the front of the net, and the save is made, and Arsby pushed one of the attack players right into his own netminder. And now
surprised he didn't attract a crowd with that one there. That was after what we saw in the first period. Arnsby just dropping the shoulder as he crashed the net a little bit. But the Battalion on that last one there, we saw a couple of guys we saw a couple lucky breaks in the first period for the Battalion, and a couple unlucky breaks with guys just losing an edge. Tarasevich behind the net there, getting tangled up a little bit, and just unfortunately not able to keep that play going.
Play underway as the attack win the draw. Out through the neutral zone, skating over the line is Gore with speed. His shot is blocked by Christopoulos. And now it's sent ahead to Tarasevic, who puts on the Jets. Coming in, the shot. Save made by the goaltender, Chenard. Wow, good defensive plays on both ends of the ice in that sequence. And it continues here with North Bay ahead 3-0 in the second period with 1:40 to go as the attack bring it back in. Gore puts it on net. That comes out wide. The shot coming in, and that one's turned away. I don't know if DiVincente's got a piece of it or not, but there was a lot of traffic in front of the ice on that shot. Now North Bay send it down the ice. The play off the end boards as Van Steensel gets to it to avoid the icing call, and now he carries it into the corner. He's being pinned there, waiting for the rest of his line mates to get into the zone, but the attack take the puck away from him, and the attack will carry it down the ice. They get over the blue line, turn away quickly, and now it's up ahead to McDonald, one-on-one. McDonald, shot goes high. Ricocheted off the glass all the way out to the neutral zone, and with 1 minute to go, the attack bring the puck back into the zone. Burrows plays it to line to Guindon, and Guindon plays it into the corner. That's where Petrov for the Battalion picks it up, and he sends it up ahead to McDonald, drops it back to Nelson. He carries it out of the zone. Nelson up to the attack blue line, dumping it in right towards the netminder, who leaves it behind the net, and the attack now in control. Send it through the neutral zone, down the right wing side with Huki coming in. Takes a shot from a sharp angle. It's off the body of DiVincentis and cleared out ahead to Jackson. Jackson's got a step ahead, but he follows the puck to the far side boards. Now he's in the zone in control. Backhands it towards Petrov in the middle. He skates back to the boards, sends it to the right side point to Winslow. His shot gets blocked. He gets the puck back, sends it to Christopoulos. His shot gets blocked, now picked up by Jordan of the attack, and he clears it out to the neutral zone. Christopoulos with 10 seconds to go follows the loose puck behind his own blue line, and they will just play pitch and catch behind their own line to wind time down here in the second period. And the second period belonged to Anthony Romani. 2 goals for number 15, his 18th and 19th of the season, and that's put North Bay ahead 3-0. Derek and Linden will break down the second period here when we come back. You're watching the Frontline broadcast right here on YouTube, presented by Average Joe's. Stay tuned.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And we're back inside Memorial Gardens, where the Battalion added another 2 goals in that second period and have a 3-0 lead through 40 minutes of play. Let's take a look at those 2 goals, as it was Anthony Romani getting both of those goals in the middle frame. The first one coming at 1:01 from Wakely and Petrov, and then a power play goal, Romani with his 19th of the season at 7:28. Petrov and Jackson picking up the assist on the second goal by Romani. 2 penalties in that middle frame. First one was Maddenstein went off for hooking at 5:45, and then McDonald for kneeing at 9:39. Power plays tonight, the Owen Sound attacker 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Meanwhile, the Battalion did score that power play marker in the second period and are 1 for 2 with the extra attacker. Shots on goal, the Owen Sound put 18 shots on goal in the second period for a game total of 25. Meanwhile, the Battalion added 7 shots in that middle frame for a total of 19. Taking a look around the OHL tonight, 3 other games on tap. After 2 periods of play in Flint, the Firebirds have a 3-0 lead over the Erie Otters. And the other game late in the second period in the Sioux tonight has the Sudbury Wolves up by a score of 5-1 over the Greyhounds, as it doesn't look like the Greyhounds will be making the playoffs this season, as they currently sit in 7th spot, 12 points behind 7th or 8th spot. Well, Linden, 2 goals by Anthony Romani. He got promoted. He's up on that line tonight with Wakely and Petrov. The passing between those 3 on that first goal, unbelievable. And Romani with that yawning cage. There's no way he was missing that.
Yeah, no, that was a couple of beautiful goals from Anthony Romani, and that, especially that first one, that 2-0 goal. Just tic-tac-toe right around the Owen Sound attack. And yeah, Romani, Wakely having a very similar chance shortly after that too, unfortunately just firing it into the body of Chenard. But a really good offensive period for the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, and then Anthony Romani adding that goal on the power play as he finishes off that second period with 2 goals. 19 on the season. He's on that 20-goal plateau for the North Bay Battalion. That will be quite a benchmark for him.
Yeah, it will. I think he's a really useful depth player. Like, he's that guy that you can throw in when you've got a guy out. You can, move those lines around, and he can fit in with the Petrov-Wakely line. Or we saw him earlier with Van Steensel a little bit on another line. I'm trying to remember who was the center on that line. That was way earlier in the year. But, yeah, he's that useful kind of player that just fills that role and can do everything for you.
Yeah, Romani, he was one of those players that grew up playing minor hockey, and he was always the leader of the team, scoring goals. He knew how to find the net. Got demoted a little bit playing, 4th line minutes. Last year he missed some time, not due to injury, but he was that healthy scratch a lot of times. Earned his spot to get some more ice time throughout the season, eventually getting a solid spot for the Battalion in the playoffs, which paid off dividends, as we're seeing here this year after that quality time last year in his first year with the North Bay Battalion. But again, Petrov, 2 more assists tonight. He's got 87 points on the season. Currently, he was coming into tonight 5th in the OHL scoring. He had 90 last year, so it looks like he's going to eclipse that mark that he set last year. And this year, he's doing it more with his assists than he does with the goals.
Yeah, we know he's a goal scorer. We saw that last year, you mentioned. But this year, fitting in, I really like that line when Pasquale Zito's in the lineup. Petrov, Teresevich, it was Wakely on the center, I believe, for a little bit there, and now it's Zito. And yeah, being that playmaker for those other 2 guys to score, Petrov being an even more useful part of that team. And one of the usual features that we do here is our Players to Watch.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Our Players to Watch tonight for the Owen Sound attack is Colby Barlow. still without a point. He has 5 shots on goal, though, for the Owen Sound in an attack. And unfortunately, Luke Ruskowski, our player to watch tonight for the North Bay Battalion, left in that second period early on with a lower body injury, unlikely to return tonight for the lineup. So the Battalion down to 6D for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, unfortunate just the way that happens. Unfortunately for Brostowski, a guy that's had some injury problems. We saw the scary head injury earlier this year when he was with the Sioux, just right when he got traded. But then missing, I believe it was an upper body injury as well for him.
Hand injury. He had a hand injury also.
I'm thinking of someone else. But
he's very unfortunate for him since coming over from the Sioux Greyhounds before Christmas. Been out with 3 different injuries since coming here to North Bay. On the flip side, Owen Sound attack, Colby Bartley, 5 shots on goal. They had 18 shots in that second period. DiVincentis had a busy second.
Yeah, DiVincentis has been stellar in the Battalion goal. You mentioned Colby Barlow with the 5 shots. I was going to say he hasn't really impressed me a lot the times I've seen him out there, especially in that second frame. We saw the Owen Sound attack jumping on a lot of those turnovers generated by the Battalion, getting that attack going, having 3 guys jumping into a forecheck to try to generate a chance. DiVincentis, again, stellar, keeping some of those out, but you think a guy like Colby Barlow of that caliber would find the net once.
Yeah, you would think so. DiVincentis has been outstanding in this game, making 25 saves through the first 2 periods of play. Still 20 minutes to go. The North Bay Battalion have that 3-0 lead. They had an identical lead on Sunday against Niagara. Were able to hold on for that one. What do the Battalion have to do in the third period to make sure they come away with this victory?
I think you got to tidy it up a little bit if you're the North Bay Battalion. We saw those turnovers. DiVincentis handling the puck a little wildly in that second period, gave it away at least twice. But even the McDonald penalty, I can think of that knee-on-knee, was generated from a sort of bad pass coming out of your own end. And they've really got to tidy those up if they want to keep that shutout and keep that streak alive where they haven't been scored on since last Thursday.
Yeah, it's now been 3 complete games as they're up to 194 minutes without allowing a goal since the second period of that game against the Sudbury Wolves. DiVincentis did get a shutout on the Friday night game against Mississauga before Robertson got the shutout against Niagara at home on Sunday afternoon. This being a rare Wednesday night, kind of a weird road trip. I was talking to the trainer down there for the Owen Sound attack. He's like, I'm not sure what's going on with this road trip. This is the only trip or the only stop in the north that they're making. They won't be back in action until Friday when they're back down in Kitchener. So it's kind of a one-off to come up here to take on the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, definitely a one-off. That's the. I'm sure it would be an interesting job to be the schedule maker for the OHL because you've got these guys, some of them in high school still riding the bus around, and just to have that, to organize that where you can have teams play, they have to come up to North Bay once, and then they're back home on Friday for Kitchener. So you can't play North Bay's normal home night on a Thursday. You could, but that's a long trip.
It questions why they're not making the Sioux trip on the same trip on the same time up north.
Yeah, you'd think they normally do a pretty good job of arranging those, especially with the Sioux in that Western Conference. But yeah, the teams usually hit kind of Sudbury, the Sioux, North Bay all in one. But yeah, somebody maybe just this one got the odd one out on the schedule and drew the short straw, and here we are on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday night for sure. Next game for the North Bay Battalion is Friday as they were down in Oshawa to take on the Generals. That is a 7 o'clock start in Oshawa on Friday the 19th. And then the North Bay Battalion will return to the comforts of Memorial Gardens for 4 straight home games, kicking off with a Sunday afternoon matinee against the London Knights. High-powered London Knights in town. Quite an afternoon. It's going to be here from Memorial Gardens, Lyndon.
Oh, it will. London, you said it earlier, and I'm drawing blanks on the number. I think you said it was 12 straight?
12 out of 24.
12 out of 24 champion, leading the division. That's that's a long time. And London, especially in junior hockey, where there's kind of a natural cycle of guys coming up when they're younger and leaving as they get 18, 19, especially if your team's good. Guys will go to the NHL or elsewhere. But that London team is never bad. So that should be a very high energy, the potential OHL final matchup on Sunday.
Talking about Friday, the Oshawa Generals, the North Bay Battalion, will be taken on. Currently in the eighth seed in the Eastern Conference, 3 points ahead of the Kingston Frontenacs, who have been slumping themselves of late as they've lost their last 10 games. And the Sudbury Wolves, they're 6 behind Sudbury, who seem to be pulling away in that 7th position. So probably not the Oshawa Generals will face in the first round, but it is still a possibility matchup. And really, when you're battling Barrie for the Central Division title, you got to make sure that you come out strong Friday night against that Generals team.
Yeah, and the guys here at the front line know I'm a little impartial to the Oshawa Generals, being from the Oshawa area myself. But they're a hard-working team. I watched them a couple weeks ago against Niagara, and they just work hard, game in, game out. And the Battalion can't fall into that kind of trap game where you have a tough one here against Owen Sound and a tough one on Sunday, and just that Oshawa in between can be a bit of a tough mental game where you don't want to fall into like letting things slide.
So quickly, before we wrap up here the second intermission, you've been in both buildings in Oshawa and here in North Bay. How would you compare the atmosphere in Oshawa compared to this in North Bay?
There's always a lot of energy in the building in Oshawa. They pack the place every time I'm there. I was there for the game on the Family Day holiday, and I think they had like 4 different groups of school kids and stuff. It's a great energy to have, because I think kids will scream at anything. Nothing will be happening, and kids will be screaming about something. So it's a fun time. It
will be a fun time, and the North Bay Battalion will be down there in Oshawa Friday night. But there's still 20 minutes left here from Memorial Gardens, as it's the North Bay Battalion leading the Owen Sound attack by a score of 3-0. When we return, Matt Sukram will rejoin Lyndon Holkamp for the finale of this hockey game, as it's attack battalion here on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Welcome back to Memorial Gardens. Matthew Sukram with you here alongside Lyndon Holkamp, and as we get set up for the third period of action as the Battalion have a 3-0 lead over the Owen Sound attack. And the Battalion, if they keep playing this way, they're going to make the race for the Central Division title a little bit more difficult for the team that is chasing them in the Barrie Colts. But the Colts brought it real close just over a week ago. There's just a 1-point gap in the Central Division standings. Going into tonight's game, though, that gap is a 3-point lead, but the Battalion are going to have to keep playing like this.
Yeah, if the Battalion keep playing like this, that gap is just enough. But you mentioned that Barrie Colts bringing it close. They loaded up at the deadline. They're running for it. 3 points right now. I was talking to Derek in the break. The Battalion have to make sure to not fall into that kind of trap game situation with it playing Oshawa on Friday, because you've got London here on Sunday, which is definitely a tough game. So you got to take those points when you can get them against a team like Oshawa.
As Gore takes a shot, it goes over the glass and out of play, and I think that's what maybe frustrated a lot of fans in February, is that they felt that there were a lot of points that were left on the table, and that shrank what once was a 10-point lead in the division and just a 3-point deficit in the race for the Eastern Conference, and those gaps have completely gone the other way now.
Yeah, Oshawa, one of those teams they played late in January, early February there, where they could have come away with 2 points against a lower team, and just North Bay didn't.
Play underway as Wakely moves it through the neutral zone over the blue line. His pass to the slot is knocked away from the stick of Romani, and the attack bring it out through the neutral zone over the blue line. Over to Petrovsky on the right side. Goes below the circle, played back up high, and as the Battalion touch the puck, they are going to get called for high sticking here, and the attack will have an early power play. It will be their third of the game, and as they trail 3-0, this is a good spot for them to get on the board for the first time tonight.
Yeah, that power play Owen Sound had in the second period was sort of the anchor of that really strong middle portion of that period they had. And this one here is a chance to build that momentum here early in the third. Try to get one back and really bring yourself back into this game.
And right off the draw, the attack can't hold the line. It jumps over the stick of Sedley, and they chase it all the way down into their own end. 19 minutes remaining in the third. 3-0 North Bay lead. As the puck comes through the neutral zone, Arnsby up high on the forecheck, making sure the attack don't have an easy entry into the zone as he is able to kick it back to the blue line. And now the attack have to regain their focus and set up their formation, and now they do that as Gore brings it over the blue line, sends it to the middle, shot comes wide, and the stick is whipped out of the hands of Lawrence as he took the shot. That allows the North Bay Battalion to get the puck and send it down the ice.
I think that was Christopoulos' stick going flying there. Luckily, with the clear, he can pick it back up again, but the Battalion, again, denying that zone entry from the Owen Sound attack.
And now the attacker back into the zone. Sedley shot from the point and stopped by DiVincentis. Bounces to the near side boards. Up to the half boards. North Bay trying to move it out, and they do. Shovel it over the blue line and send the attack chasing. 50 seconds to go on the North Bay penalty kill, their third of the game. 2 minutes gone in this period, and the Battalion maintained that 3-0 lead. Brought over the blue line, and Bloom sends it right back the other way to kill off more time. They've got one shot, I think, in this power play.
I think so. I think you could show me any North Bay penalty kill, and I would not be able to tell you what game it's from. They all look identical because it's so good.
Yeah, especially tonight, as they've killed off the first two. Now they're trying to make it 3 for 3. Puck inside the North Bay zone, stuck along the end boards. Seems like everybody's back there. McDonald finds the puck and sends it down the ice. 10 seconds to go on the man advantage. And the Battalion are about to get back to 5-on-5 as the attack bring it through the neutral zone. Down the right wing side, it's stopped. And Winslow gets sprung out of the box to Lucan. They find Wakely on the breakaway. And the shot is stopped by the goaltender, Chenard. Wakely got his 30th goal of the season in the win over Niagara on Sunday. And he's just been a pleasure to watch over the last 2 years with the North Bay Battalion. That was his 50th career goal that he scored.
Yeah, Wakely having a really strong year, getting those minutes. You centered that Petrov-Tarasevic line earlier. He's back up between Petrov and Romani on the listed as the top line. just a really useful player. And you mentioned hitting 30 goals this season and 50 goals on the career.
And those 30 goals lead the team in that category. And I don't know, when people looked at this roster at the beginning of the season, would have figured that Wakely in March would be leading the team in goals scored, because there are certainly a lot of contenders going into this season. Playback underway as Romani brings it out through the neutral zone. He's got 2 himself tonight, but it's turned away at the blue line. Now the attack back the other way, down the right wing side, towards the net. There's a pass in front, but that play is broken up as Romani gets the loose puck out to the neutral zone of Petrov. Petrov's pass up to the blue line is blocked by the attack. They send it back to the North Bay blue line where Lukin is stationed. He sends it up to Petrov, but coming out of the zone late was Romani, and so offside is called. 16-19 to go in the third period. North Bay up 3-0. And just to finish our talk on the race for the Central Crown, Barrie is off tonight. They host London tomorrow, and then they will host Sudbury on Saturday. As we mentioned, Battalion in Oshawa tomorrow night, back home to host London on Sunday. So depending on how those games go this week, the Battalion could be anywhere between 9 points ahead and 1 point behind when it's all said and done after this weekend.
Yeah, that close. Luckily for North Bay with the tough matchup with London, as much as we know it's a tough matchup, Barrie gets them the night before.
That's it.
Which will, you'd think would be a tougher game. London, not sure what their schedule is otherwise, but playing that first game against Barrie, North Bay gets them a little beaten up perhaps on Sunday.
And it's interesting that the Battalion have a day off between 3 games this weekend. So puck sent down into the North Bay zone. 15:50 to play. Check that into the attack zone as North Bay looking for control of it. They can't get it as the puck bounces to the boards. Gore picks it up for the attack and sends it out through the neutral zone. Arnsby's right there. He dumps it back in. Arnsby with one of the goals tonight. Romani the other 2. Puck played out of the zone by the attack. They send it down into the North Bay end. Very quickly, Hislop plays it across to Christopoulos. Back across to Hislop. And he sends it down the middle of the ice to Procession, who dumps it in off the deflection and is now trying to control the puck in the near side corner in the attack zone. A couple more players jump in and are digging away at it. The puck comes loose. Picked up by Guindon of the attack, and he sends it down the ice, trying to find Burrows, but it takes a weird hop off the boards, and now Burrows has got the arm up for the delayed offside, but the Battalion send it right back down into the attack zone. Now it's picked up by Owen Sound, and they will clear their own end. Played across to the far side, the shot coming in, and DiVincentis makes his 27th save of the contest with 14:14 to play in the third. 3-0 North Bay lead.
DiVincentis has had himself a night tonight. We mentioned that the Battalion going 3 straight periods now, or more than that, sorry. 2 complete games without giving up a goal with the 2 straight shutouts. And they, but now DiVincentis, just on one like that, a fairly easy shot, just calm, cool, collected in net, making those saves, looking really good.
Yeah, hasn't given up a ton of rebounds in the last little while either. Now the attack towards the front of the net, trying a wraparound chance, and that one's cleared away. Out to the neutral zone. Bloom bringing the puck down the ice on the left wing. Drops it back to Nelson. Nelson feeds it to the right side, but just over skating the puck is Jackson. A 2-on-1 the other way. On the far side, over the blue line, they drop it to the trailer. Tries to backhand it towards the net. Turned away by DiVincentis. Now it's just stuck right on the doorstep. It's under the pads of DiVincentis and in. And there goes the shutout. And there goes the streak as the Battalion give up their first goal in 3 games. And it's 3-1 for the attack with 14 minutes to play in the third period.
Nelson having a word with the official there after that goal. That was just, the only way I can describe that goal is a mess. There were, must have been 3 guys for each team in front hacking away at it. The referee's doing a good job to keep their eye on it. But the puck just squirting out of the pile when DiVincentis was just not expecting it between his legs and dribbling into the net. That's a tough one to give up, but, just the bounces sometimes, I guess.
And Antonio Tersini gets the goal. It looks like as he's the one getting the accolades over on the bench, and if it is Tersini, that will be his first career OHL goal. We'll wait for the official announcement, but it does look, by the reaction on the bench, that the first-year player No, now they're giving it to Chafe, so...
Giving it to Chafe.
So the Battalion lead is shrunk to 2 now. And DiVincentis gets a little tap after he makes that save with 13:49 to go in the third period. 3-1 North Bay lead. I was talking to people after the game against the Niagara Ice Dogs on Sunday, and they said what was impressive about it was the awareness in the defensive zone by the North Bay Battalion. Yes, it was Niagara. They didn't have a ton of great chances, but when they did, the North Bay defense was there helping out Charlie Robertson and just maintaining great IQ in that defensive zone, and that's what we've seen as well in this game. Yes, DiVincentis has made 29 saves, but also, again, on those rebounds he's given up, they've just been cleared out quickly by the defense.
Yeah, the Battalion, a team really comfortable in their own end, really able to, like you said, to clear out those rebounds when they come. DiVincentis and Robertson both being solid in goal, helping that. But then we've also seen them get that offense off the counterattack.
There's a shot coming in towards DiVincentis, and he makes a save. And now this is where North Bay has to be careful. Yes, they've still got the 2-goal lead, but we've seen in spurts in this game how quickly the attack can start to turn things around and really put the pressure on the netminder. And now they're on the board, so now they're smelling it, right? They're trying to overcome this 3-goal deficit within the last 20 minutes of this game.
Oh, definitely a blood in the water kind of moment here. Owen Sound trying to jump on that momentum from the goal, and the Battalion really have to do well to shut them down here.
Steen from the blue line, plays it down low, shot from the sharp angle, and it's stopped by DiVincentis. That was Petrovsky with a shot there from the right side of the goal line.
Battalion doing well on that one to keep Owen Sound to the outside, moving the puck around across the point, and finally that sharp angle shot that DiVincentis handles very easily. But the Battalion, like we said, really need to, the next goal will be big for them to turn that momentum around a little bit as Petrov gets hauled down there.
No call, though, on the play as it continues down the ice. Sent towards the attack zone, and it's held behind the net. The Battalion and the attack last saw each other on November 19th. It was a 6-3 win for the North Bay Battalion. There's a shot towards DiVincentis, and he holds onto it for a stoppage and play. Dolan Wakely scoring twice in that game. Anthony Romani apparently has the number of these attack players as he scored his 5th goal of the season during that contest. And Charlie Robertson picked up the win in net, making 31 saves on 34 chances, with Nick Chenard taking the loss in that contest.
And some fun OHL trivia for that game because of the January jersey swap. The teams are wearing the same jerseys that night.
Yeah, the East and West only see each other once a year, and depending on, or once a year in each other's barn, so depending on when that game takes place, could be, like you said, in the exact same uniforms. Shot coming in, Steen gets it towards DiVincentis. He turns it aside. Playing the far side corner. Kennedy battling for it there. He gets sent to the ice. The attack in control of the puck. It's Steen at the line. Walks to the middle. The shot goes off the body of Van Steezel. Sent to the far side corner. And Kennedy moves it down the right side boards. And the Battalion are able to skate it out with procession, getting it out there. Drops it back to Winslow in the neutral zone. And he dumps it down the ice. 11:50 to play in the third period. 3-1 North Bay lead. Puck behind the net, center to Jackson. He had to kick it to his stick, but couldn't get the shot off. Now Christopoulos comes in following that one up, and he sends it wide of the net. Play at the line. Hislop has it. Feeds it down the left side boards to Jackson. Jackson holding on to the puck. He gets knocked off the puck, and that allows the attack to clear some space and get it out to the neutral zone. Skated in by Petrovsky. He centers it, but that's turned aside by Jackson in the middle of the zone, and Jackson gets it up to Bloom, and they clear the area. McDonald throws a hard hit on Lawrence as everybody comes out to the neutral zone, and the puck ends up in the attack end, and it's controlled by Bloom. Bloom for the Battalion going towards the left side of the zone. Skates back to the blue line, now sends it to Hislop there. Hislop down the boards to McDonald. He skates to the middle and sends it off the far side corner. Picked up behind the net by the attack. They turn it over. Now they get it back and send it down the ice, and the puck will roll right towards DiVincentis. No, he never even plays it, as Hislop gets the puck that just... the momentum completely stopped in front of DiVincentis. Now North Bay send it back the other way, and they will get called for icing. Although the Battalion trying to say that they had Bloom set up in the neutral zone, tipping the puck. And the officials will discuss it with 10:37 to go in the third period. 3-1 North Bay lead.
No, sticking with the icing here. That DiVincentis play where he didn't come out and get the puck, I have a feeling might have something to do with those giveaways in the second period. Maybe Coach Houlihan or somebody had a word with him and said, stop handling the puck.
Yeah. Off the draw, the attack with the shot. That one gets blocked in front. It comes back up to the line. Seedley's there to the half boards. Guindon to Petrovsky to the left side. The shot comes in. Save made. Rebound chance. Denied. And then the loose puck is cleared by Hislop down the ice. It will be icing again against the Battalion. But what a sequence there as DiVincentis makes a huge save with the shot coming in from the right side goal line.
That was not the cleanest play, to say the least. Yeah, DiVincentis making a couple of huge stops as the Owen Sound attack just barely unable to jam that one in. But not much of a break for the Battalion. Jackson going to get a new stick, trying to buy themselves a little more time, I think. But, yeah, getting the icing call again.
Playback underway. The shot comes in, and DiVincentis makes another glove save. We talked about how important getting the first goal of the game is for the North Bay Battalion. Well, leading after two has been equally important for the Battalion. They are 31-1 when they lead after 2 periods of play. And they did have a 3-0 lead going into the third period here.
Yes, they did, and getting their tired legs off the ice on that one.
The lead is now 3-1, and we are halfway through this third period now. As the attack bring the puck in over the blue line into the North Bay end. Sent around towards the end boards. Lucan is there. He gets hit hard on the boards, but Wakely finds the puck for him and gets it up ahead to Petrov. Petrov gets it out to the neutral zone to Nelson, and Nelson dumps it in towards the attack end. It's sent around the boards. Wakely's there. Try to feed it to the middle of Petrov. It's out of his reach and cleared by Owen Sound to the neutral zone. Petrov gets it back. He gets tripped up, and that will be a call. That was a vicious-looking trip, as the Battalion will have the man advantage when we return, and we'll also hear from Derek. Halfway through the third, it's 3-1 North Bay.
This period is brought to you by Canberra Alumni Group. Information on special events and news or access to the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canberracollege.ca/perk for more information.
Tonight's Three Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And we'll join Derek downstairs. Derek, 3 stars of the game will come up in the La Herda Imports post-game show, and you got to think with another tremendous performance in net, 34 saves to this point. Dom DiVincentis continuing his hot streak in the last little while.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-horse race right now for that number 1 spot in the star category between DiVincentis and Romani. 2 goals for Romani. And just the Battalion seem to be playing a little bit back in their heels at the start of this third period, allowing the Owen Sound attack to get that 1 goal back. And this is a very important power play coming at this time with just over 9.5 minutes left. Battalion got to find some way to get the puck down in the offensive zone and take a little bit of time off the clock, Pat.
Absolutely. So with 9:30 to go, like you said, Derek, another opportunity for the Battalion on the power play. They are 1 for 2 tonight. The Owen Sound attack now, in their last 3 games, including tonight, have been outscored 12-4. They were shut out 3-0 against Kitchener. Then they lost 6-3 to Barrie. That brings them to the 2-game losing streak, which they're currently on. They've got 9 minutes to try and change that to from making a 3-game losing streak. But the Battalion on the power play now, trying not to let that happen. They lead 3-1. Here comes a shot wide of the net by Nelson. From the point, the puck goes to the far side. And the attack holding on to it on the boards, just trying to kill time to get back to even strength. Still stuck on those far side boards. Almost a minute gone already on the power play. Battalion finally dig it out. Now to Nelson, open on the left side, walking in towards the net. The arm goes up as he got hooked going towards the net. And yes, that will be a penalty against the attack. I mean, what do you think is going through Denny Gore's head on that play with Nelson almost wide open on the left side?
Yeah, unfortunately for him, his stick got tangled up when Nelson went around him the first time, because I saw him kind of throw his hands up, and then Nelson kind of pulled the stick out of his hands, and yeah, which threw Nelson off, and that's the penalty. So that Gore not happy with that one, but the Battalion with a minute of 5-on-3.
And
so
the Battalion will take the timeout here.
Yeah, take a second to draw it up here for Coach Houlihan and give these guys, a little bit of a breather for this minute, and then another minute after that of 5-on-4, assuming no goal. But yeah, it's a big sequence here because you're pulling time off the clock for Owen Sound playing shorthanded. And you have a chance to score, put yourself back up by 3, and really solidify this game.
They lead 3-1 in the third with 8:29 to go on the clock. And coming up on the Frontline broadcast this week, we will have that game on Sunday as the London Knights will be in town on Sunday afternoon. Catch it right here on the Frontline broadcast presented by Average Joe's. So Jackson will take the draw for the Battalion. He wins it, a choppy bouncing puck to the boards, but Nelson gets it to the right side of Petrov. His shot comes in and it's right towards Chenard. Chenard in his last win only had to face 22 shots. He made 20 saves when the Owen Sound attack beat the Hamilton Bulldogs 5-2 back on March 3rd. He has only faced 22 shots in this game, but he's given up 3 goals this time. And right now it is in a losing effort. Puck is cleared right off the draw. North Bay have to chase it all the way back. Now they bring it forward. It's Petrov who has it down the right side. Feeds it into the corner for Arnsby. Arnsby to the left side to McDonald. Back up high in the zone to Nelson. Across to the right side, Petrov. Down low, back up high to Petrov. Now down low to Jackson. Back to Petrov again. Down to Jackson. Back up to Petrov. Across the left side, the shot. Scores! Kyle McDonald roofs one over the blocker. And he's got to be saying, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving that one as the Battalion take a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, what a release from McDonald there. The puck just, I was getting concerned on the 5-on-3 with the 2 guys on the far side just going back and forth. Looked like nothing was happening. And then that one pass across the seam, McDonald with the quick release, like you said, just roofs it by Chenard. And that's a big goal for the Battalion to be back up by 3, still with 1:21 on power play, and less than 8 minutes to go in this game.
Up by 3 with the goal on the 5-on-3. 28th goal of the season for Kyle McDonald. What a pickup he has been for this team. acquired last season, several weeks before the trade deadline, actually. And there was some worry that he might not return to the Battalion this year, as he was impressing everybody in Ottawa's front office. Got a chance to play with the AHL team as well in Belleville before being sent back to the Battalion. And he's also had a couple of stints on the injured list this year, but McDonald seems to be in fine form as he comes in and rips another one just high. Walking in towards the net, Tarasevich feeds it in front. McDonald's right there, but he got it caught up in his skates, and then he tried to go around behind the back of the netminder, but got knocked off the puck in that process. So 5 seconds to go in the power play for the Battalion. They lead 4-1 with 6:30 to go in the period. Here comes Josh Bloom now with lots of room. Dishes off to left side. The shot comes in from Tarasevich, and the save is made by Chenard. Out of the box is Gore. They try to get the pass to him in the neutral zone, but that went blowing by his stick, and it will be icing called against the attack.
Yeah, McDonald with another big shot right after the goal there. Getting another chance. You mentioned him not coming back. He is one of my kind, of the 02 birth year. And so he's an overager on this team and will definitely not be back for another year, unfortunately for the Battalion.
But trying to make the most of it when he is on the ice. As we said, that's 28 goals for for McDonald, in his 38th game. 45 points on the season for him now after that last goal. And the Battalion, who have a 4-1 lead, now hemmed in the defensive zone. They move the puck down the boards. Van Steensel gets it out, and Van Steensel throws a hard hit coming out of the zone, and that's going to draw a crowd as everybody's getting involved now on the ice. All 5 players have a dancing partner right now. No gloves have come off. No punches have been thrown yet. Terrien is at center ice with Papes, and it seems like the North Bay faithful want to see the Terrien show come out. Now, a helmet has been knocked off as Procession is tied up with, I can't see the player there.
Gore, I think.
Yeah,
7,
that is
right?
Gore, yeah. As the officials were in the way and Procession was blocking the view a bit, but now everyone has moved away from each other. And it looks like the officials have gotten this under control. But that was a bit of a dangerous hit there by Van Steensel coming out of the zone.
Yeah, it definitely was. Just that awkward space, a foot and a half from the boards. So you can't quite hit him into the boards. You kind of falls into the boards. You get the head involved. That's always a scary looking play. But I had a bit of a chuckle there in the midst of the mix-up. One of the linesmen just kind of pushed Van Steensel into the open penalty box door, and they kind of closed it behind him just to keep him out of the nonsense.
That's amazing.
I was like, yeah, that's one way to handle that.
So it looks like it's going to be more than just a 2-minute minor for Van Steensel, as Petrov has come across. So it'll likely be 2 plus a 5, I imagine, for probably they're going to give him the checking from behind or maybe boarding.
We'll have to keep an ear out for what the official word is, because that's just a whole mess. Who knows what they called on the ice.
So a power play opportunity for the attack. They're down by 3. Play right in front of the net. Steven Chentis makes a save, and then another chance from behind the net is off his body, picked up by North Bay and cleared out of the zone. Oh, Petrovsky is also in the box here.
Oh, yeah.
Arnsby throws a hit on the other Petrovsky. That's Servek Petrovsky that Arnsby hit as he was trying to bring the puck out of the defensive zone. In the box is James Petrovsky. No relation, as they spell their names differently. And as you said, one guy is an import player.
Yeah, from Slovakia.
Don sends it in towards the North Bay far side corner, but it's picked up and sent down the ice by the Battalion. The Battalion, as we've said, come into this game with the top-ranked penalty kill in the league. They have finished number 1 in the league on the penalty kill twice in their franchise history, in 07-08 and 09-2010. Since they have moved to North Bay, the highest finish they've had is 3rd place, with the 3rd best penalty kill in the league during the 2014-15 season. Burrows brings the puck back in. And again, Owen, and they are 3 for 3 so far tonight on the penalty kill. The puck comes up to the blue line, pass across to the near side. Pappas has it. He sends it down to the goal line, back up high, across to the left side. Back to the near side for Pappas again. Sends it to the left side. That is Seed. He gets a shot on net that's blocked in front by Nelson. The rebound comes back up high in the zone. Now to the right side. Burrows, his pass attempt is blocked by Nelson and cleared out of the zone by North Bay. 3 seconds to go, and the penalty is over. So Petrov's back on the ice. Van Steensel is still in the box, and we will figure out how that whole thing shook down for you. As the Battalion maintain their 4-1 lead over the attack with less than 4 minutes to play now in the period. Play inside the far corner for the attack. Trying to maintain possession here. Battalion doing a good job just staying man-to-man in that area and not giving the attack much room to work with. Now North Bay get control of the loose puck. They send it down the ice. Bloom will skate towards it as he brings it around on the near side. Now he centers it to Jackson, and he fires it wide of the net. Jackson looking for his 30th of the season. He's got control of it on the right side. Sends it towards the net on the backhand, and the goaltender had to make an awkward save as that one came right from the goal line, but almost from the corner by Jackson. Now it's off a skate, and it's all the way down the ice into the North Bay zone. Still no official update on those penalties on our score sheets. 2:30 to go in the 3rd period. North Bay up 4-1. That puck is sent towards the netminder inside the attack zone, and he plays it out. And now it's Sedley who holds it behind the net.
It's going well for the Battalion, just taking time off the clock. Almost 2 minutes left in the game now.
And on a play like that, I always feel like the team is almost conceding at that point. I mean, you got to be aware of the clock. You got to know that you're down by 3, and you really can't afford to waste almost 30 seconds here just with a puck behind the net. And the only thing I can think of is you're just conceding the 2 points at that juncture. So now the attack, bring it right back through. It's Gore putting it on net, off a skate, bouncing around back there. Picked up on the near side. And now back to the far side corner as Christopoulos has it, and he sends it through the neutral zone. Looks like they've updated these score sheets. So James Petrovsky is in the box, 2 minutes for roughing, and he'll come out after the next whistle. Owen Van Steensel got called for boarding. That was served by Petrov for 2 minutes, and then he got an extra 2 minutes for roughing, and that's what offsets with Petrovsky. So both of them will come out on the next whistle, or they'll just stay in there till the end of the game as there's just a minute remaining. And the North Bay Battalion, leading at 4-1, are just moments away from seeing this win streak climb to 4 in a row. And on this win streak for the North Bay Battalion, they're going to have only given up, if it stays like this, 3 goals in the last 4 games. 30 seconds to go as the puck is still inside the attack zone. The Battalion can't hold the line as it gets pushed over. Nelson dropping back to his own line. Now he sends it down the left wing for Wakely. Wakely walking in. He sends it high and wide. Now Nelson coming in and firing it wide as well. Winslow has the puck on the near side blue line. 5 seconds to go. And the North Bay Battalion, on the strength of 2 goals from Anthony Romani and 36 saves from Dom DiVincentis, they get a win over the Owen Sound Attack. It's their 41st of the season, and another new franchise record set in net by Dom DiVincentis with his 33rd of the year. What a game on all sides of the ice for the North Bay Battalion. They win it 4-1. And it was a pleasure to bring you tonight's game. I'm Matthew Sucrum. I'm going to sign off. Derek and Lyndon will break down tonight's game in the La Herda Imports post-game show. But I want to thank you for joining us, as always, right here on the Frontline broadcast presented by Average Joe's. The post-game show coming up. Don't go away.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And welcome back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens, where the North Bay Battalion have defeated the Owen Sound Attack by a score of 4-1. A pair of goals in that third period as the teams exchanged goals. First off, getting his first OHL career goal for the Owen Sound Attack, number 37, Antonio Tersigny, as he picks up that only goal for the Owen Sound Attack tonight in that goalmouth scrum as it was pushed behind Dom DiVincentis, that coming at the 5:53 mark. And then Kyle McDonald picking up the goal on the power play from Matvey Petrov and Kyle Jackson at 12:10, and that made it 4-1 at the time, and nothing else happened. Taking a look at the shots on goal, the Attack added another 12 in that third period for a total of 37. Meanwhile, the Battalion added 7 on goal for a total of 26 in tonight's game. Power plays, each team had 4 opportunities. The Battalion were 1 for 4 with the extra attacker, and the Attack did not score on the power play. Taking a look around the OHL tonight, in Flint, a final there now as the Firebirds have defeated the Erie Otters by a score of 4-1. The only other game tonight has 7 minutes left in the third period, and it's going on up in Sault Ste. Marie as the Greyhounds trail the Sudbury Wolves by a score of 8-2. none of those games really have any impact in the standings for the North Bay Battalion. The Wolves, though, currently in that 7th seed, which would eventually be a first-round matchup against the North Bay Battalion, as the Wolves now make it 9-2 with 4:25 remaining in the third period. Battalion with the win tonight. Linden 5 points up on the Barrie Colts, 1 game in hand, and the Colts will be in action tomorrow night as they host the London Knights.
Yeah, that's an important win for the North Bay Battalion to get this win over a solid Owen Sound team in really dominant fashion those last couple periods, and see what, just to extend that gap over Barrie and see what the rest of this weekend brings.
Yeah, I thought the Battalion settled back a little bit in the third period at the start. They came out with that 3-0 lead, sitting back on their heels. They only had 1 shot recorded in the first half of that period, as the Owen Sound did get one back to close it to a 3-goal game, but then that Kyle McDonald go on the 2-man advantage, really put away the Owen Sound attack.
Yeah, we saw that in that middle part of the second period there. Owen Sound really doing a great job. I went so far as to write it down. Owen Sound really doing a good job of keeping plays alive. Pucks, creating turnovers and generating chances on DiVincentis, and then finally getting a goal in that scramble in front. But unfortunately, the Battalion are that strong of a team to just get a goal back and fight all the way to the end.
And so the Battalion picking up all 3 stars tonight, as the 3 stars are brought to you by Dave's Automotive.
Tonight's 3 stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And as expected, the North Bay Battalion dominating the 3 stars tonight in the game. Again, another night in which I approve of the stars. I think the 3 players well deserving of it. Could have been flip-flopped in which order you put them in, but whether or not, here's the 3rd star from North Bay, number 31, 36 saves on the game, picking up his 33rd win, Dom DiVincentis. 2nd star, Matvey Petrov, 3 assists in tonight's game, 88 points now on the season, only 2 points away from his career high. And 1st star with 2 goals, including the game winner, Anthony Romani, now with 19 goals on the season for the North Bay Battalion. While Linden, quite a display, and as you said, a solid effort from the North Bay Battalion. I think they're gearing up for the playoffs, and this is the way they got to play a solid 60-minute hockey game.
Yeah, exactly. If you're playing, right now it's Sudbury you're lined up against, the 2 versus 7 matchup. That would be a good series with some history between those 2 teams. But any team you play, especially as you go later, you might see a team like an Owen Sound. London, we'll see on Sunday how they fare. A team like Ottawa, those are strong teams. You have to play full 60-minute efforts against those teams if you want a chance to beat them in 7 games.
Wow, for the front line, only one more game this weekend. As you said, London Knights are in town here Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Is the game time. Pre-game show will start at 1:50 here on the Frontline YouTube channel. But before that, the North Bay Battalion will be in Oshawa to take on the Generals. The Voodoos, the Powassan Voodoos, will be out of town this weekend as they have 2 weeks left in their regular season. And the U18 Trappers will conclude their regular season this Saturday as they will play the U16 Trappers. That game will be in Sturgeon Falls. That will not be able to be seen on the front line. Next time you will see the front line is Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock here from the Gardens. Again, for all of us here at the front line, for Brad Brooks, Lyndon Holkamp, Ben Long, Courtney Kenny, and Matt Strucker, I'm Derek Lindeman, saying so long from Memorial Gardens.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.